They got it. It was actually a better kick.
What's happening? After you report, can you turn around and report it again to this
lot on the line tonight when it comes to two outstanding teams in Class 3A Region 6 as a pair of 3-0 teams go at it tonight from the Field of Champions as the second-ranked Bulldogs of Piedmont take on the Warriors of Westbrook Christian. The winner gets the upper hand as far as taking home a potential region championship in Class 3A and Region 6. It's the FNN High School Football Game of the Week as our countdown to kickoff brought to you every week by our friends at Bama Sheds. We welcome you into the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. A happy game day wherever you're watching us from, along with my color analyst and Coach Eddie Bullock down on the sidelines, Jackson New, as well as Shasta Jones and the rest of our FNN crew. James Hardy with you as the crowd here at the Field of Champions starting to file in as we're about 28 minutes away from toe meeting leather in a big region contest. And Eddie, a big game coming up for both teams tonight.
Huge game. You got Coach Smith returning back home, and I know he's fired up, and I know the home crowd is fired up because they all want to beat the returning coach. In
fact, let's look at Westbrook Christian first for tonight. You mentioned Coach Steve Smith. This is his second time as the Westbrook Christian Warrior head coach to return to Piedmont, where, of course, he led the Piedmont Bulldogs to 5 state championships. But from what he told me on Wednesday morning when I was able to chat with him on our phone call, Eddie, he's very much a man that bleeds red now when it comes to Westbrook Christian red.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the only way you can build your program is you got to buy in. You don't forget the past, but you got to move on from the past, and that's what he has to do being over there.
But you look at as far as just now the relationship that, of course, Steve Smith had and really in a lot of ways still has as far as just his legacy here at Piedmont. A lot of mutual respect when it comes to the two programs and two quality head coaches.
Absolutely. And of course, with him being gone, they're not playing Piedmont. They're playing the tradition. I mean, and he established that. So, he knows what he's facing coming back in here. So, it looks to be a great ball game.
But you look at what Coach Steve Smith has, a lot of the freshmen and sophomores over his first 2 seasons at Westbrook Christian, they've gained experience, and they're off to a 3-0 start, and they're off to a dominating start at that as they have only given up 20 points in 3 ball games and have scored almost 140 points on offense in their 3 games.
Well, that's usually what happens once the younger guys get more experience. You expect more production, and I used to love as a coach watching my athletes grow like that.
Brody Blevins, one of the key players for Westbrook Christian, a quarterback that we'll talk more about later on tonight. But for Piedmont as well, both Shasta Jones and myself, we had a brief opportunity to at least have some pleasantries with Coach Jonathan Miller. And I tell you, Eddie, when we were at least trying to talk with him, Coach Miller, he had his game face on, very much locked in, and just looking at his body language about an hour ago or so, Eddie, he's locked in, and I imagine his team is the same way as far as their mental mindset for tonight.
Well, you have to. I mean, you playing a big game like this, and a big name is returning home. So, you want to always try to get that victory, and you want to make as less mental mistakes as you can, so you got to get locked in. They used to tell me sometimes I look mad, but I wasn't mad. I was zoned in.
And you look at Piedmont, of course, Raleigh Pinto, that makes their offense go.
Well, that guy's a football player. I told him one time, I said, he's not Raleigh Pinto, he's Raleigh Cadillac.
Right. But I tell you what, we also had a couple of his teammates at Top of the River on Tuesday for our FNN Coaches Show, and Ben Dempsey, defensive back, as well as linebacker Carson Sanders, and they both quickly reminded me before we brought them on as far as their player interviews for our Piedmont Spotlight on Tuesday, and they quickly reminded me, as much as tonight when it comes to this particular Friday night is a big game for both teams at Piedmont, as you know, as I know, as everybody in this stadium knows, whichever sideline you're on, at Piedmont with the tradition that they've built, every game is a big game.
Absolutely. And, the crowd is probably going to be electric once everybody set in and we got the initial kickoff. I can imagine, people in the stands are right now on edge.
That's a good segue because we also, as far as our FNN microphones, visited with both coaches and, of course, Steve Smith making his second return to the Field of Champions as the head coach of Westbrook Christian. A lot on the line tonight as far as the winner having the upper hand to potentially get to the finish line in first place when it comes to Class 3A Region 6. And when you look at the atmosphere of the Field of Champions, the big games had been played on this field. Another big game tonight. And in Coach Steve Smith's eyes, definitely a lot on the line. And really, as far as that atmosphere, could be, at least tonight, a playoff type of atmosphere that we see tonight.
Definitely playoff atmosphere. Anytime you go to Field of Champions to play, you know you're taking on one of the top teams in the state. Much respect for what Piedmont's done again this year. I feel like our guys have made some strides and are excited about the opportunity to play in a game tonight like this one of this magnitude. And just hope that we go over there and continue to do what we've been doing, just be relaxed and play the game and put the work in during the week. It's just on Friday night, it's supposed to be about having fun, going out there and playing.
That's head coach Steve Smith as we'll go ahead and take the timeout. A lot of big ones across the state of Alabama tonight as we get in almost to the heart of the regular season, and a lot of big games across the state of Alabama as we'll take a look at the big ones on the other side of this timeout.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Wise Environmental Solutions Incorporated is a leader in the enhanced waste collection, septic system, and resource recovery services industry in Alabama. With over 40 years of experience, we are committed to delivering superior customer service, innovative solutions, and protecting human and natural resources. Equipped to handle any situation, from regular residential services to emergency response situation. Some of the services that Wise Environmental Solutions offer is portable restrooms for events, restroom trailers, shower trailers, septic services, dumpsters and roll-offs, and industrial pumping. We are located at 2345 AL Highway 21 in Oxford, Alabama. Contact us today to take care of your events.
Our countdown to kickoff brought to you by our friends at Bama Sheds, as we are about 20 minutes away from toe meeting leather here at the Field of Champions between Westbrook Christian and Piedmont. But we bring in our own Jim Jacobs to take a look at our first set of big ones for this week.
Yeah, this is kind of a game here, guys, of who has not, because neither one of these has not done much so far this season. Childersburg travels down to Sylacauga to take on B.B. Comer. It's a good rocks throw. Eddie, what do you think?
I think that's a rivalry game, and, both of them being pretty equal. I think B.B. Comer take it at home.
Yeah, I got to give Comer the edge too, James, just because of the home field.
Same here. I'm going to make it B.B. Comer.
All right, Shasta, you and the other guy down there are up.
I'm going to have to go with B.B. Comer as well.
And, this is the way I look at this. Both teams are 0-4. Someone's 0 has got to go, and I think Childersburg goes on the road and gets the first win of the season.
Well said, young lion. All right, here we go. White Plains travels up to Cherokee County tonight. Eddie, we finally get to find out what Coach Smith is all about there at that program. And, they scared Hoax Bluff to death last week, but tonight they face a 3-time at the championship team, and we'll see what White Plains is about tonight, but I'm going with Cherokee County.
Hey, I second that emotion.
Cherokee County, one of the toughest places in the state to win at. I'm going with the Warriors as well.
All right, Shasta, Cherokee County or White Plains, dear?
I got to agree. It's going to be a close game, but home field advantage, Cherokee County.
And I got to agree. I think Cherokee County gets a statement win at home this week.
All right, all 5 go for the Warriors. Etowah at Asheville. Etowah's had a tough season so far, Coach. Asheville has much improved. I like the Bulldogs to get the win over the Devils tonight.
Well, and I'm leaning toward Asheville being at home, but I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to take Etowah on the road.
I like the pick, Eddie, but I like the home team myself on this one.
Let's see what Shasta thinks.
You know, I got to be like Coach Bullock. It could be close, but I'm going to go with Etowah.
I'll tell you what, Mark Sanders has something going down there in Asheville. I think they continue the momentum and get another win this week at home.
Yeah, I think Asheville's got it covered. All right, the Leeds Green Wave at Jacksonville tonight. This is a big game, Eddie, region-wise. If Jacksonville wants to stake claim to that second spot in the region, of course, a lot of football still to go, but Leeds at Jacksonville. Unfortunately for the home team, I like the guys in green.
Absolutely. I'm going with the Green Wave as well. I think they get it done on the road.
I could see a similar type of game to what Jacksonville had against Moody, but I like Leeds to take home a road win.
All right, Shasta, who you think?
I agree with James on that one. It's going to be Leeds.
And I got to go with the Green Wave as well.
That's enough right there. Here we go. Sacks at Walter Welborn tonight. Eddie, I don't know what happened to Welborn at Glencoe last week. I mean, they got their tails spanked, 42-0. Sacks comes in. It's at the Hill, so you got to go with Coach Smith, don't you?
Absolutely. Hey, both of these are 2 of my best football friends, and I hate to pick against either one of them, but if I had to pick, I would have to go with Welborn on the Hill.
Yeah, I got to pick Walter Welborn as well.
Shasta?
Gonna join that team, Walter Welborn as well.
And I like Coach Smith and the Panthers to bounce back this week as well.
Just say me too, okay? Oh, Hatchie at Weaver, Coach.
Oh, man, I just don't know about this one. I think Weaver got the home field advantage, so I'm going to go with the Bearcats at home.
Yeah, I only give it to them because it's at their place.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Weaver gets their second win of the season tonight.
I agree with Bullock. Going with Weaver.
And I got to agree, too.
Okay, me too just works. Ani Anna at Alexandria. Is this a trap game, Eddie, for Coach Ginn's boys after the heartbreak at Anniston last week?
Absolutely, I believe it is, but I think if Coach Ginn get them boys mentally focused, they'll get it done at home. But you definitely said the right word. It's a trap game.
A trap game, but I like Alexandria at home.
Yeah, I kind of like Coach Ginn to coach him up here and get the W tonight, but it won't be easy, I'll say that.
Right.
Shasta?
Alexandria Valley Cubs.
Me too.
Mountain Brook at Oxford. This is a big-time Birmingham TV game at the Oxford Stadium tonight, Lamar Field. Eddie, this is a do-or-die game for Mountain Brook. If they don't pick up a W here tonight after getting beat by Pell City last week, I just don't know that Mountain Brook can even make the show in November. But Oxford's kind of in the same boat if they want to keep playing for the region title.
I was about to say the same thing. Oxford is I think it's do or die for Oxford as well. So I'm going with the Big O at home.
I'm going with the Big O as well, especially after their last second win on the road last week.
Shasta?
Gotta say, go Yellow Jackets.
Me too. I can't pick against Coach Adam.
I like Oxford in this one as well. All that talent. Anniston at Hoax Bluff. Eddie, I think this is another trap game.
Absolutely. I believe it is a trap game, but I watched both teams play, Jim, and very quickly I'm just going to say I think Anniston, Hoax Bluff is going to have problems with their speed. So I think Anniston is going to go on the road and take that game.
Hoax Bluff won on the road at Anniston last year, but I think Anniston turns the tables this year.
Yeah, I kind of like the Bulldogs on the road as well, but I will say this. They got to clean it up. They can't keep making them dumb penalty mistakes, Eddie, and keep winning against quality competition.
I agree.
All right, Shasta.
You know, I got to agree when Bullock said the speed, but you know what? I like Bryce Whitaker. I'm going to go with Hoax Bluff.
I like the Bulldogs to win a close one on the road.
All right, so Shasta goes wide on us, and the rest of us say Anniston. And that gets us to why we're here tonight, the Field of Champions. Westbrook, former Piedmont coach Steve Smith's got them undefeated this season. They've constantly improved since he arrived 3 years ago. Jonathan Miller has kind of held serve here at Piedmont after a tough first season. Eddie, what do you think about these two programs?
Well, two tremendously good coaches, two great programs, and James and I were talking about Coach Miller being zoned in, game face, but you got to understand he's chasing a legend right here, and he's chasing a traditional program. So it's going to be a knockout, drag-down fight.
Now, go ahead, Eddie.
It was me. I was just going to say, James, we had Coach Miller on the show Tuesday night, and I got to tell you, there were some nerves there.
That's right.
Yep. And he's a great coach. He's shown he can win the big games. But there's just something about following a guy that's got 5 state trophies. It's going to take a while for this to be his.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, last year at 13 won a state semifinal round finish for the Bulldogs in 2024 and looking to at least duplicate that this year. So Jonathan Miller on a good track as far as following a legend here at Piedmont. In fact, let's hear what both coaches had to say about the opposing teams. First, beginning with Coach Jonathan Miller on his thoughts on Westbrook Christian.
It's going to be a team that does not beat itself, plays sound football in all 3 phases. Special teams wise, they've got a great weapon in their kicker who, kicks and punts, and, he's going to kick off and put the ball in the end zone 95% of the time. He can hit probably a 50-yard field goal, and I think he's averaging over 45 yards, per punt. Dangerous weapon there on special teams. Offensively, I think it's a veteran group that's played a lot of football at Westbrook. I think there's 9 seniors on that side of the ball. They're executing at a high level. A lot of dangerous playmakers, starting with their quarterback. Brody Blevins has had a great start to the season. I think he's kind of the head of the snake on that side. And then defensively, again, not a senior heavy, but a group that I think the majority of the starters, there's probably 7 starters, 8 starters back from last year's squad that has gained a lot of experience. And, they're always going to be in the right spots. They're always going to know what to do. They're always going to fit stuff up correctly. Very, very sound defensively. So very good football team in all 3 phases, and I think they're definitely a playoff team capable of making a run. So a lot of football left to be played, obviously, but they're one of the top teams in the North for sure.
A good breakdown as far as the Westbrook Christian Warriors from Piedmont coach Jonathan Miller. And speaking of Piedmont, Coach Steve Smith, we all know his resume that he built here at Piedmont. This is what he had to say about the 2025 edition of the Piedmont Bulldogs.
I think that they're just a typical Piedmont team. Obviously, you got a Division I player in Pinto that can hurt you a lot of different ways, but the rest of those guys on that team don't get near the recognition they deserve. When you look out there's 11 different guys on offense and defense, all of them playing with a sense of urgency. They all like to fly to the ball on the defensive side, which when you turn the film on, you watch that's something that you like to see as a coach. Have a lot of respect for that. Offensive line and defensive line, very underrated. They've had some games this year where they were supposed to, not be able to match up front, and they've won those battles in the trenches up front in all the games they've played so far this year. So I just see a very, very solid team that's poised to make another deep run in the playoffs, and we're excited about getting an opportunity to play against them.
2 outstanding teams, 2 well-coached squads going at it tonight. Both 3-0 on the season. Westbrook Christian has won all 3 of their games in region play, while Piedmont 2-0 in region play, as well as 3-0 overall. We'll take the timeout as we continue our countdown to kickoff coverage presented by Bama Sheds. We'll have the coin toss and the kickoff coming up next.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
About 9.5 minutes away from kickoff between two of the top teams in Class 3A. Piedmont ranked number 2 this week in the ASWA statewide rankings in the top 10 for Class 3A, while Westbrook Christian actually outside the top 10 but receiving votes, as this is an opportunity for a statement for Westbrook Christian if they can pull off a road victory at Piedmont. James Hardy, along with Coach Eddie Bullock and the rest of our FNN crew, including Shasta Jones on the sideline, says it appears we are inching closer to our national anthem as the Piedmont Marching Band out at midfield ready to perform our national anthem. The Piedmont Marching Band with our national anthem from the Field of Champions here at Piedmont High School. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones, Jackson New, and our FNN crew with you as we're still awaiting for the captains for both teams to come out onto the field. And, in fact, before both of the teams come out, as you take a look at a pair of 3-0 teams coming into tonight in Westbrook Christian and Piedmont. This is a region game in Region 6 of Class 3A. Let's hear another clip as far as our visit with Steve Smith this week, because if Westbrook Christian wants to come in and get a big-time road win, one of the players that they're going to need to step up to have a big game is Brody Blevins at quarterback, coming back for another season at quarterback. Was just a sophomore last year, a solid season in 2024, has taken another step in 2025, and Coach Steve Smith told us as far as the steps forward, the improvements that Brody Blevins has made at quarterback.
Well, last year he was known pretty much as a running quarterback that could throw the ball some. He's put a conscious effort into improving his ability to be a passer. And if you look at our stats through 3 games, I can't remember exactly what it is. I want to say he's throwing for about 200 yards a game. And I think we've only run him about 8 times this year so far on design runs. He might have a couple more carries on scrambles, but he's really worked hard to be able to develop in the passing game side of it, and has done a great job there, and it's been a big weapon for us with his arm.
There's head coach Steve Smith as we take a look at their 2025 schedule. As you see, they actually got their season started in officially HSAA Week 1, that second week of the regular season on August the 29th against Glencoe. And they've been able to steamroll Glencoe, Sax, and Locust Fork. And Piedmont, including a 24-8 win over Cherokee County, although at least the score did not indicate just how dominant Piedmont was in that game, Eddie. And really both teams, they've been able to steamroll through their first 3 opponents en route to a big game tonight.
Well, and I think Piedmont has an exceptional good group coming back. Westbrook has made a lot of great strides, but it's gonna be a knockdown drag out tonight. I mean, like I said, you throw out the records and all of that, and it's gonna be the team that can get started the fastest tonight.
Do you sense, as far as for this Westbrook Christian program, that Steve Smith's telling his players behind the scenes, this is an opportunity for you to make your statement for your program?
Absolutely. This is a count of as y'all mentioned earlier, this is a statement game for them. If he can come in here and sneak out a victory against Piedmont here on the road, I mean, that speaks volumes for his program, and they have grown, but again, they got to prove they can throw that football.
Well, it's as if the quartet of captains for Piedmont coming out of the locker room directly across from us, and likewise off to our right for Westbrook Christian. As Piedmont, they'll be in their gray tops tonight, as you see Raleigh Pinto, who wore number 22 last year, wearing number 1 this year, along with Cole Austin, the quarterback, and Ben Dempsey, who we saw on Tuesday, and rounding out the captains, Braylon Williams along the line of scrimmage, the 4 captains for the Piedmont Bulldogs tonight. And then we take a look at Brody Blevins and 3 of his other Warriors teammates. The captains for the visiting team, Maximus Jones, along with Brody Wood. And trying to find out the final captain, actually the first one in line here, number 58 in white, and Jake Haney for the Warriors of Westbrook Christian. Thomas Pratt, who we've gotten quite familiar with. This is his 4th game to appear on FNN this season as the head referee in an HSAA game. I imagine we'll be seeing him plenty of times more even into the postseason, as both captains about to make their way to the P, the big Piedmont P, the power P at midfield. A big game for both teams tonight, and what's turning into a respectable 3A Region 6 rivalry as the 2 captains meet for our toss of the coin, and head referee Thomas Pratt will handle the emceeing duties for the toss of the coin.
Everybody doing all right tonight? Sportsmanship's a must throughout this game from now until we leave this field.
Yes, sir.
All right, how's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
How you doing, 13?
Good, how are you?
6, 7. All right, so here, I brought a coin here tonight for the coin toss. Of course, the visiting team, Westbrook, gets to choose heads or tails. The Bulldog, in honor of Piedmont, will be heads. What's your choice?
Tails.
He's chosen tails. If I drop this, we'll do it again. It is heads. You've won the toss, Piedmont. You want to? All right, let me let everybody know. The Piedmont has won the toss. They've chosen to defer their choice to the second half. Westbrook, you want to receive, correct? So you've chosen to receive the ball, and you want to defend the small scoreboard. You want to defend the big scoreboard, so you can be going towards it in the second quarter. So put your back to this goal line. And now I'm going to let everybody know, look towards them and let them know that.
And there you have it, as Piedmont won the toss, but they'll defer their option until the second half. So Westbrook Christian, they're going to have the football to begin this ball game. As we take a look at least the Westbrook Christian side of things, off to our right, as they're looking for what would be, Eddie, their very first win in program history over the Piedmont Bulldogs.
And I think they're going to have to make a statement on this first drive. They're going to have to establish some kind of momentum. But, speaking of that coin toss, there was no way he was choosing that heads with that Bulldog.
You just saw the Piedmont Bulldogs as they get ready to come out of their home locker room across the way. And that's exactly what the Warriors want to do, and that's take it to the Bulldogs on the road here at the Field of Champions, as Piedmont has won all 7 of the prior meetings coming into tonight against Westbrook Christian, as here comes a grand entrance for the Piedmont Bulldogs onto the Field of Champions. A 13-1 record last season and a visit into the 3A semifinals, and also here comes the Westbrook Christian Warriors. 3rd season under legendary former Piedmont head coach Steve Smith, as Westbrook Christian well on their way to what would be their first playoff appearance under Coach Steve Smith, as they just narrowly missed out a season ago due to that 5-way tiebreaker in Class 3A Region 6. Both teams basically atop region play. Technically, Westbrook Christian leading the region coming into tonight just because they have one more win in region play than does Piedmont. And then you mentioned as far as what you think Westbrook Christian needs to do tonight, Eddie, as far as his first drive, what does Piedmont need to do to defend home turf?
I think Piedmont going to have to get a fast start. They're going to have to, they do a variety of throwing and running the football, but I think they're going to have to get a fast start, and they're going to have to take care of the football, because it's going to be a game based off of who makes the less amount of mistakes or get the less penalty yards. So, both of them going to have to take care of the ball, but I think Westbrook is going to have to prove they can throw the football, and Piedmont just going to have to get a fast start.
Well, because both teams have not allowed a lot of points defensively this year. Their their return units haven't had that much work this year, so maybe a little more special teams emphasis as far as keys for both teams tonight. We'll take a look at the kickoff man for Piedmont tonight in Carson Cleveland, the sophomore. So Cleveland set to kick things away. And one of the men, Brody Wood, set to return as we are underway. Our David's Recker service kickoff, a short kickoff that's fielded at the 28-yard line, and that's a big lick that time on special teams by the Piedmont Bulldogs, as making the hit was Bryant Waters, the junior. There you see 24-hour towing. David's Recker Service and Body Shop presents to you our kickoffs for this evening. And our first quarter brought to you by Wise Environmental. So first down and 10 coming up. Brody Blevins, who you heard Coach Steve Smith talk about in our countdown to kickoff. Passing has improved tremendously so far this year. And coming into tonight, 33 of 46, 571 yards, 6 touchdowns, and most importantly, no picks through the air. We'll have the football spotted at the 32-yard line for Westbrook Christian as Thomas Pratt blows the play dead momentarily. Brody Wood, the primary running back, besides the quarterback Blevins. Low snap as Wood gets the call as he'll get swallowed up and taken down back around the line of scrimmage.
He actually ran into his own offensive lineman on that play.
In fact, let's take a look at the rest of the starters for Westbrook Christian. Bo Kilgo and Brody Johnson, the go-to receivers for Brody Blevins. Also Beckham, Hammondtree, and Parker Sims, the wideouts. And then offensive line, you have Taylor Brown at left guard, or left tackle, Jonah Valentine at left guard, Cooper Lancaster, the center, Luke Armstrong at right guard, and James Larkin at right tackle. Second down and 10. Blevins on the keeper, and he'll get wrapped up and may be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage as you had 5 gray shirts in the area of the tackle, helped out by Xanthan Wood, the defensive end.
Well, they had 8 in the box on that play, so they ran a quarterback lead, so you just got to basically, again, you got to spread them out, get that ball in there.
Blevins was able to eke out a yard that time. So third down, line to reach for the first down is their own 42 for Westbrook Christian. Play clock down to 6. 4-man front. As here's the hitch route that's complete to the near side, but short of the first down as Brody Johnson makes the grab at around the 38-yard line. Needed the 42, however. Solid coverage that time from the defensive backfield led by Alejandre Wright, a sophomore for Piedmont. So fourth down on the way, and it'll be punting time. As Coach Steve Smith told me, a lot of very glowing things about Reed Barber, who's the place kicker and also his punter for Westbrook Christian.
Absolutely.
A very consistent, rock-solid kicker that has a bright future ahead of him. As he gets a low punt away, that's going to get a solid Westbrook Christian roll as it lands inside the 40 and then goes out of bounds about the 38-yard line. Wise Environmental presents to you our first quarter. A big thanks to all of our sponsors for, again, joining us this evening. Cole Alston takes the reins over from Cole Wilson, who led the Piedmont Bulldogs at quarterback the last couple of years. As you hear some noise being made here at the Field of Champions. Nicholas Mixon along with Ethan Tidwell will see it running back. That's the gift going off the right side and not that much doing for Raleigh Pinto. As good pursuit from the Westbrook Christian defense as they'll spot the football at around the 38-yard line, maybe the 39 for a short gain. Nose of the football at the 39. Raleigh Pinto, one of those wide receivers, along with Taylor Swain and Mason Morrow for Piedmont. Second and long. As Pinto off the left side turns the corner, and he will be and should have his first iCare Alabama first down of the night. So needed about the 47, and they'll spot the football actually about midfield, so that's more than enough for our first iCare Alabama first down of the night as Mauro Tyro brings us a second look.
We just ran outside zone, and Westbrook didn't do a good job at keeping outside contained. Got to keep him inside the tackles.
Football right at midfield. Pinto in motion. Play fake as Austin rolls under pressure. Needs to get rid of it and just goes out of bounds. Excellent pursuit that time on the part of Westbrook Christian as Wesley Whiteside, the linebacker, on the sack.
Well, that's actually a coverage sack. They ran a little where they slipped the little slot guy out of the backfield, and you rolled it quarterback out, and he throws underneath when everybody run off. But Westbrook played it well.
Offensive line for Piedmont as you have Braylon Williams, the center. Left tackle is Kane Stanford. Drake Bryant, the left guard. Right guard, Frederick Taylor, the second. And then right tackle is Caden Doyle for Piedmont. Second and long. As Austin sweeps to the left side and rounds the corner as he's taken down across midfield at the Westbrook Christian 48-yard line.
Well, they didn't have any good outside contain. Going to watch on the outside. He should come up right there to contain, and he's not getting there.
And there you see a solid pursuit that time. Also Whiteside on the tackle. Third down. Line to reach about the 40 for the first down. In fact, right at the 40 is the football at the 48 of Westbrook Christian. Big possession down for the Piedmont offense to try and stay on the field. Approaching 3 minutes played in the opening quarter.
Watch the matchup with Pinto at the slot on the inside. He has a linebacker, so.
Time for Austin as he'll toss a deep out route and nicely played, deflected, and incomplete. As the deflection made by at least one of the reserve or the outside linebacker, check that in, Titus Jones.
And that was going to Riley Pinto all the way. That's what I was telling you. They was clearing out. They ran a post, they ran a go route, and then they brought him underneath with a deep out route. I give Coach Miller credit. He's trying to get the ball to his playmakers.
Fourth down punting situation. As there you see the deep man for Westbrook Christian. As Kilgo reels in the fair catch inside the 15 at about the 14-yard line as Raleigh Pinto, the punter this year for Piedmont. So Piedmont gets the edge as far as the field position as Westbrook Christian backed up inside their own 15-yard line. At least some wise game management right now for Coach Jonathan Miller and his Piedmont Bulldogs as Wise Environmental brings you our opening quarter. Second possession for Westbrook Christian offensively as they went 3 and out in their opening possession. Here's the fake as Blevins on the roll. Now he wants to go downfield and just throws it away. Intended for at least one of his favorite targets in Brody Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson ran out of real estate. That was not a really good route. It was too close to the sideline, but it hasn't taken Coach long to pretty much realize that he's going to have to get some of those guys out of the box. He's going to have to throw the football.
Rest of the Piedmont starters defensively. Leonidas Wright at defensive tackle. Also Bryant Waters at defensive tackle. Benjamin Tolbert and Carson Sanders, the outside linebackers. Chase Kirkpatrick and Bentley Chandler, the inside linebackers. Jackson Howard and Alejandre Wright are the corners. Man comes in motion. As the sweep for Blevins trying to turn the corner. Breaks out of one tackle and has to fight for yards, but does get some decent yards to the 15-yard line as Piedmont Eddie did a pretty good job of stringing that play out for minimal yardage.
Absolutely, and he safety came down here, the cornerback held his ground, but his philosophy is changing now. He spread them out. He still want to run it, but he know he has to get some of those bodies out of the box, and that's what he did. He went to double-doubles formation and spread them out and, trying to utilize the legs. So he's giving himself a chance.
Also the safeties for Piedmont, Ben Dempsey and Nicholas Glover. That rounds out the defensive starters for the Bulldogs as we have a 3rd and long. A 3-yard gain on second down for Blevins as he'll drop to throw. Under pressure now, tosses and a bit too far for his receiver, Brody Johnson, incomplete. And so a good job by the Piedmont defense as they get Westbrook Christian to go 3 and out.
Well, I think the receiver gave up on the route on that play. He was supposed to run a quick slant, and he came in and went behind the cornerback and actually had him beat, and he just stopped on the route.
So right now, Piedmont winning the field position battle as you have a couple of deep returners in Raleigh Pinto as well as Nicholas Mixon. Reed Barber set to kick and nearly gets it blocked. In fact, does get it blocked.
He took it off his foot.
As an outstanding defensive play. As we'll take another look at that block punt as Morrow Tire and Auto second look.
Nobody blocked the outside receiver right here. He takes it off his foot right there.
Ben Dempsey on the block. As you see, he just takes it right at the air as well, and he goes in for the opening score of the ball game. No wonder I couldn't see where the football was, because not only did Dempsey block the punt, he took the ball right after the punt and went right in the end zone. No, a 2-yard return on the block punt. And so going for 2 looks like will be Piedmont. Austin, he'll go up the middle and finds room and powers into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So a block punt leads to points for Piedmont as they take the early lead up 8-0 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
At iCare Alabama, our goal is to meet the needs of every patient. Dr. Dwayne Mohan and Dr. Ryan Price always strive for excellent outcomes. We want each patient to get the best vision and medical care possible. At iCare Alabama, we utilize all the latest technological advances to ensure that you receive the best quality eye care. So call for an appointment at any of our 4 locations in Piedmont, Heflin, Roanoke, or Atala and see the difference. Most insurance is accepted. iCare Alabama. Efficient, effective eye care close to home.
So Ben Dempsey's block punt and subsequent 2-yard return of the block punt into the end zone and the Cole Austin 2-point conversion run gives Piedmont an 8-0 lead here in the first quarter with 7:38 to go in the opening quarter. James Hardy with you as Carson Cleveland has toe meat leather on the David's Wrecker Service kickoff. As a short kickoff, Johnson moves it across the 35 to about the 37-yard line where Westbrook Christian will have the football, and that's at least the first big shot to the face provided by Piedmont as they were able to get Ben Dempsey free, a clean block, and the recovery out of the air, and then able to trot it in for the first points of the night. So now, Eddie, what is Westbrook Christian thinking coming up on this drive?
Well, they're going to have to respond. Just first touchdown, and somebody made a mental error, as I mentioned earlier. I think the up-back missed an assignment because that guy shouldn't have just came scot-free like that to the punter. But they have to respond. They have to respond to it. It happened, and you just got to respond to it.
Here's Blevins under pressure, rolls and now tosses, has a receiver complete into Piedmont territory. Across the 30 to the 29-yard line is Maximus Jones, as that is the first iCare Alabama first down of the night. This will take a Morrow Tire and Auto second look.
Cornerback got caught looking in the backfield, and just a great play, and that's exactly the game plan that Westbrook has to use. You got to respond.
Nicholas Glover on the tackle as Maximus Jones gets the big reception all the way down to the Piedmont 29-yard line. So a gain of 33 yards on the pass completion. Delay give goes to Jones as he's bottled up in the backfield for a loss.
Well, you got to bet it through the timing of the playoff.
Tackle led by Benjamin Tolbert as he leads the way along with 3 of his other Bulldogs. Piedmont in the gray tops and then the white tops for Westbrook Christian tonight. Both teams undefeated. Winner of this ball game will have the upper hand really the rest of the way when it comes to trying to get that 1 seed for the postseason out of Class 3A Region 6. Looks like Thomas Pratt has stopped play momentarily. A little confusion out on the field. Both teams thought that they were going to get a little extra breather as far as that timeout, but the play clock back under, at least counting down at 30 seconds on the play clock.
I think you had a little equipment issue right there. He was giving the player time to get off the field, but
no worries for either team. A 2nd and long. As Blevins, the quarterback keeper, lowers his shoulder and bowls his way through across the 30-yard line. As trying to at least make the tackle that time on the play for Piedmont, one of the reserves in Kane Stanford.
Well, this 4-down territory right here, so, I would definitely take one of these downs. I would have to take a shot. They replaced the corner on this side, so I would have went at him first since he just came in off the bench. I mean, you got to, as we used to say, try the new guy.
Now, one thing Steve Smith does have is one of, if not the best place kickers in Class 3A in Reed Barber, so even about 7 more yards, and you might have a realistic field goal shot for Barber. 3rd down, play fake. Here's the throw downfield as the pass is incomplete. You had 2 players surrounding Brody Johnson in the end zone as the pass into traffic that time, and it'll set up a 4th down at the 29-yard line. With that incompletion, more than likely, Steve Smith's going to go for it here.
Well, and what I would have did then, James, on that particular play, he ISO'd the receiver over here, so they put the cornerback underneath and the safety over the top. So you had double coverage, but if you go double, that safety is occupied, and I would want to take my shot in one-on-one coverage.
Here comes Blevins off the sideline as the play clock already down to 11. Line to reach the 19 for Westbrook Christian to keep this drive alive. And we'll have a whistle, and it appears that Steve Smith wants to talk this over. A timeout for the Warriors. We'll take the timeout with them with 5:18 to go opening quarter. It's Piedmont 8 and Westbrook Christian nothing.
Welcome to Calhoun County, Alabama, your natural attraction. We have invigorating outdoor activities, amazing cultural sites, mouth-watering food, and southern hospitality, all wrapped into one amazing vacation destination. Whether you're looking for a relaxing overnight getaway or for a one-of-a-kind escapade, Calhoun County boasts an incredible selection of outdoor recreational opportunities. Calhoun County is the natural attraction, centrally located between Atlanta and Birmingham, with plenty of fun and memories waiting to be made. Come to Calhoun County, Alabama, a natural attraction.
Both Westbrook Christian and Piedmont at 3-0 coming into tonight. A huge 4th down on the way. A 4th and long for Westbrook Christian as they're down 8-0 thanks to Ben Dempsey's block punt and return of 2 yards for a touchdown. And Cole Austin also added 2 points with the 2-point conversion run. Line to reach the 19 for the 1st down. Blevins awaits the snap on 4th down. Rush comes. Blevins steps up. Needs the 19. Has room. And does he get there? He needs the 19. Let's see where they spot it. And I think where they spot it, I think Blevins is going to get, if that spot I think that he's going to get would be an iCare Alabama 1st down.
It looks to me like he has it.
And our head referee, Thomas Pratt, indeed confirms 1st down Westbrook Christian. That's a huge 1st down for the Warriors, Eddie.
Hey, Blevins looked like they shot him out of counting that time. I mean, he got up there quick. He got hard. He don't mind ducking his head.
A red zone trip coming up for Westbrook Christian as Blevins needed 10, and he got 10. Drive stays alive as the Warriors in business. 3 receivers to the far side. Now 1 comes in motion as the give right up the middle, and breaking out of the tackle is Wood. He's on his way into the end zone. Give him 6. Touchdown, Westbrook Christian.
That's how you respond, James, right there. That's what the sign of a good team, that you come back and respond.
19 yards on the touchdown run by Brody Wood as the rushing touchdown is his 4th of the season.
When he breaks contact right here, that's 1 tackle. He runs by this guy, and he gets a great block by the receiver downfield.
Now, maybe a little early in my mind, especially with Reed Barber, a capable place kicker, to go for 2 this early. But Steve Smith's won 5 state championships for a reason, so I think it looks as if he wants to go ahead and tie this game up here in the first quarter.
Well, the same thing I was just about to mention. Do you chase points or do you go head on and kick the field goal? Kick the PAT. I'm just curious to know what his strategy is because Piedmont is going for 2.
Yeah, they're going for 2 as Westbrook Christian. And we have a whistle and looks like a timeout for Piedmont. We'll take the timeout with them. Midway through the first quarter, it's now Piedmont 8 and Westbrook Christian 6.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Piedmont special teams struck first, but Westbrook Christian's offense able to get off the mat and drive down the field themselves. 62 yards, capped off by a 19-yard run on a 1st down and 10 draw play from running back Brody Wood as he was able to score his 4th touchdown of the season. And now Westbrook Christian appears they want to go for 2.
Well, James, that's big time for the offense to score because I guarantee you Coach Smith is over there telling them, hey, if we don't give up a special teams play, we up 6 or 7 or possibly 8-0. So, you use every little nugget you can to give your team momentum.
In the backfield now is Brody Johnson. Check that. Johnson now splits out. Wood, the lone setback. 2-point conversion try. Blevins on the fake as he'll swing it out to Wood. He's racing toward the pylon, and he gets in for the 2-point conversion.
That's my favorite play right there. Hey, you swing, you give him zone action, give him that switch motion to the other side. You fake the back right there. He comes out right there, and all he got to do is beat a linebacker.
Morrow Tire and Auto brings you that little swing pass on the second look as we have a ball game early on. 4:45 to go in the opening quarter as Westbrook Christian and Piedmont now have both gotten a touchdown on the board, plus add the 2-point conversion. And so, at least early on the game, living up to what it's being billed for as far as 2 of the top teams. Now, Westbrook Christian, mind you, not ranked this week in the top 10 now. If they're able to come out and field of champions with a win, they'll catapult well into the top 10. But still a lot of football to go here at the Field of Champions.
I tell you what, though, long as I coach, James, I never, it's nice to be ranked, but I never put a lot of into being ranked because, it can swell your head up and set you up for failure. It's nice what they think about you, but I'm more or less concerned about what my guys actually do on the field and earn.
Pinto as well as Mixon deep for the Reed Barber kickoff. Another David's Wrecker Service kickoff as that'll go end over end. And does that get beyond the pylon? And I believe it does for the touchback. All of our kickoffs this evening brought to you by David's Wrecker Service. There you see 24-hour towing, especially if you need those emergency services after traveling back home after a high school football game. The David's Wrecker Service will definitely be there for you. A 1st down and 10 coming up from their own 20 for the Piedmont Bulldogs. And now, I didn't see a flag on the field initially, so they must have said that football did not cross the goal line before it went out of bounds. So an extra 15 yards on that ball going out of bounds. So 1st and 10 at the 35 now for Piedmont.
Oh, they're going to give him the blues. You hear the boos now, but
well, some cheers early on, though. Some much-deserved cheers, however, for the Warriors offense as they were able to get a 4th down and 10. As now Mixon his first carry of the night as he gets some good room across the 40 as he was taken down at the 40-yard line. A good stop that time looked like the linebacker for the Warriors in Charles Michael the Jr. on the stop. Nicholas Mixon, a 5'6", 160-pound senior. Give him an extra yard to make it a 6-yard gain. Austin swings it out. Pinto trying to stretch it to the corner and somehow able to get some yards. I did not think Pinto was going to get very much at all. Give a lot of credit to Pinto for not giving up on the plays. He's able to find some room on the corner and get at least some modest yards to have a 3rd down and short.
Well, he's a football player, but outside linebacker actually didn't keep contained. He had 2 guys coming from the inside, and he had good technique, had the block extended, but he jumped inside, and Pinto kind of dead-legged him and jumped outside, so that was all on him.
3rd down, line to reach the 45. Here's the give in, a solid lick that time for Easton Skaggs, the defensive end, as he comes up clean and makes the TFL for Westbrook Christian. So a loss back across the 40. So 4th down and the first time, or check that, the second time that we'll see Piedmont punt tonight. Ethan Tidwell that time on his first carry of the night as he loses about a yard. And back to return goes Bo Kilgo for Westbrook Christian. Pinto, pretty decent punt as Kilgo makes the fair catch at the 27-yard line. Wise Environmental brings us our first quarter. Also, each and every week, our friends at FNN Bank. Service, solutions, and strength, not just a tagline. And for, at least so far, a little money in the bank when it comes to those 8 points on the scoreboard for Westbrook Christian in Piedmont. As FNN Bank, longtime friends of ours here at FNN, they help present our game of the week each and every week. A 1st down and 10 coming up for the Warriors as they were able to drive 62 yards. And their drive capped off by a Brody Wood 19-yard touchdown scamper. Less than 3.5 to go opening quarter. Blevins awaits the snap. As the give goes to Wood, as he'll drive forward across the 30 to about the 34-yard line. So Wood starting to get a little rhythm at running back as he was able to plow through at least one Piedmont defender and put his offense for the Warriors in a pretty good spot on 2nd down.
Right, they're getting them spread out and giving them some jet action, and they got the defensive line and linebackers moving in one direction, and they get some good shade blocks on them. So it's, Westbrook is getting in rhythm.
Less than 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Both teams have a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on the board. 2nd and 3. Blevins on the keeper. Not a whole lot to speak of. As there you see a whole bunch of gray shirts that finish off the play, including Leonidas Wright on the stop. Look at Leo Wright, number 30. 5'9", just a sophomore along that defensive front. So we talked about as far as the young players that Steve Smith had for Westbrook Christian the past couple of seasons, and Jonathan Miller has a lot of young contributors as well for his Bulldogs this year. 3rd down, 3rd and 3.
Westbrook is having a lot more success when they're giving them motion. When they're in the stationary formation, they're not having a lot of success.
Here's Blevins as he able to get the 1st down as he needed the 37 and able to get to the 47 for the iCare Alabama 1st down. Amaro Tire and Auto 2nd look.
He was able to get through, but he probably should have been stopped on initial contact right there. He broke a couple of tackles. That's just hard-nosed running.
Ben Dempsey able to finish off the play as the safety on the tackle. 1:39 to go in the opening quarter. 1st and 10, still on their own side of the 50 at the 47 for Westbrook Christian. Play clock down to 10. Here's Blevins. He tosses, and dangerous pass, but let's see, reeled in or no. They'll say the ball dropped by Johnson at the very last second. And so far early on, Eddie, Brody Blevins looking for Brody Johnson at wide receiver as far as his favorite target.
Well, and he's going to have to do, again, you have to put combos together like they're giving him a 10 to 12-yard cushion, so they're going to have to run that corner off and come underneath him with that slot receiver. And I'm sure somebody in the box is going to be putting a bug in Coach Smith's ear about that, but you know, you can't let them set back 10 to 12 and then run a hitch unless it's about a 5-yard hitch. You can't let them get too deep up in there.
A couple of excellent teams going at it. 3-0 Westbrook Christian, 3-0 Piedmont. 2nd and 10 for Westbrook Christian from their own 47. Their third drive of the first quarter. Here's the give to Wood as he's wrapped up in the backfield. Aggressive play that time by Xanthan Wood as he's able to come up on the stop.
Well, the guard missed a block there. Number 61, he missed a block on the line right there. Gave him a free run to the running back there.
Well, that's a loss of 3 yards back to the 44. So there you see 3rd down and 13. Less than a minute to go in the opening quarter. Westbrook Christian able to respond off of a block punt and score by Ben Dempsey on special teams. As Brody Wood has a 19-yard touchdown run, 3rd and 13. Here's the fade route down the field for Johnson as he makes the grab. And a huge first down for Westbrook Christian. A big-time I-Care Alabama first down.
Well, if you watch, he hit him with the hitch and go right there. Remember I told you the cornerback is biting down.
You take a look and gets behind Alejandre Wright, the young cornerback. As there you see a front row seat of Johnson going out of bounds before he gets a big first down.
I think Wright's in for a long night tonight. Once I find a mismatch, I'm going to, as we say in my vernacular, we're going to ride that horse till he drop dead.
That's a 40-yard gain on that pass completion on 3rd down and 13. Wood off the right side as there comes the flag on the play as Wood has to run out of bounds, but I imagine this is coming on back.
That's usually in the area of a hole.
Well, that was no doubt about it as that was thrown by the line judge across the way.
Hey, guys, let me jump in here real quick with a scoring update that matters in 4A Region 6. Anniston on the road at Hoax Bluff, and they're up 12-zip.
Good start for the Anniston Bulldogs as they're in a pretty tough stretch of games last week against Alexandria. Hoax Bluff tonight, Pleasant Grove next week, and then they'll host Cherokee County in a couple of weeks for another big region game. There's the penalty as indicated by Thomas Pratt. And by the way, next week for all of the state of Alabama will be non-region week to close out September. In fact, we'll hear in a little bit as far as our Shasta Jones talk about, as she was also able to catch up with a couple of players for both teams this week. We'll hear more about Brody Blevins from Shasta Jones's visit this week with the Westbrook Christian quarterback. We heard Steve Smith talk about Brody's improvement from last year to this year. Right now, we still have a little bit of action to close out the first quarter, first and long rather. As Wood tries to turn the corner and gets wrestled down in the backfield. Outstanding play along the defensive line that time as Leo Wright able to make the stop. Final seconds wind down as an active and entertaining first quarter so far as both teams able to get on the board with 8 points as we're through one quarter of play here at the Field of Champions. Big time matchup between Westbrook Christian at Piedmont as we're all knotted up at 8 apiece here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
game day. And from all of us at Bucks Island,
from the Loft Tackle Store,
from the team in service,
from the team in park,
from the sales team,
from the Bucks Island family. Good luck and go get 'em, boys.
Treating our customers the way we want to be treated since 1948. BucksIsland.com or call 1-800-I'm-READY. Let our team help you win on the water.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
Second down and 21 coming up for Westbrook Christian as we begin the second quarter. Tied up at 8. Football at the Piedmont 27 as the snap dropped by Blevins, and he'll just have to do anything he can to at least get close to the line of scrimmage as he's at least able to secure the football. But a mistake that time by the junior quarterback as our second quarter brought to you in part by Ethan Rogers Alpha Insurance Agency here in Piedmont. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones down on the sidelines, as well as our FNN crew. So they'll mark the football back across the 30, and that's close to the 33-yard line. So that's a third down and long coming up. As we'll have a whistle and a timeout coming up. In fact, a good time to send it down for the first time in this ball game to our Shasta Jones as she had a chance to catch up with Brody Blevins about Brody's improvement in his journey as the Westbrook Christian quarterback.
Thanks, James. Brody said he's been working on his mental aspect, approaching a game, going into thinking, being confident in himself, and in the ability of the guys around him to go out, compete, and play together as a group. He wants to lead his team to victory each week and try to be the guy that everybody wants to be. He said everything he does on the field, the whole purpose of why he's playing football is so somebody can say, hey, I love the way he plays. I want to know why he's doing what he's doing and who he's playing for, and for somebody to ask the question that could bring them to Christ, and that's the whole reason why he's playing.
That great responses from Brody Blevins. Thank you, Shasta. And I'll tell you what, a big part as far as that leadership role, Eddie, as you know, at quarterback, being able to put that trust in your teammates.
Well, you got to walk the walk, and that sign, that's basically what he said in a nutshell. He wants to, he wants to follow God and want people to follow him. And, you can't go wrong by leading a team like that, and they watch your work ethic, and, you have to follow a kid like that.
Third down and 24 yards to go. I-Care Alabama first down all the way at the 9. Here's Blevins on the roll. Flushed out, looking for a receiver. And he'll throw it downfield, and that's over everybody. Incomplete. Good pressure applied on the backside at that time by the Piedmont Bulldogs as you had Chase Kirkpatrick along with Wood that were able to apply the pressure. And so fourth down coming up.
Well, they didn't seal, on the boot, they didn't seal the edge right there. So, and Blevins has pretty quick feet, too, because he should have been dead to rights, but they can't seem to hem him up in there.
So here comes a long field goal try coming up for Reed Barber. This is going to be a 50-yard attempt.
Interesting.
There's the snap and hold and the kick on the way. And that is going to be off to the left and no good. Not sure if a flag dropped down that time, but the kick no good. Don't see a flag on the field. So decent field position after the missed field goal as a first down and 10 on the way for the Piedmont Bulldogs. So Piedmont bent a little bit as penalties and some self-inflicted mistakes for Westbrook Christian cost them some points that time, as they'll actually move the football up, it looks like. Not sure if there was, as the ball went into the end zone. So they'll mark the football back at the 20-yard line, 1st down and 10. Here's Austin. Quick throw to the far side. That's complete. As across the 30-yard line goes Pinto as he makes his first grab of the night. Morrow and Tire and Auto with the second look. Just a simple out route. A little pitch and catch from Austin to Pinto as Raleigh Pinto able to advance to the 32-yard line. Here's the give right up the middle. As the carry on the part of Ethan Tidwell, as he's able to get across the 35 to the 36-yard line. James Hardy with you, as so far these two teams deadlocked at 8 apiece. Our second quarter brought to you by Ethan Rogers Alpha Insurance Agency here in Piedmont. Second down, and before the snap, looks as if we have a stoppage in play. Don't see a timeout, so looks like indeed a penalty going on Piedmont. So illegal procedure on the Bulldogs after a 6-yard first down carry. Mark it back 5 yards, and it'll be a second down and long. A block punt return by Ben Dempsey, and the 2-point conversion provided Piedmont there only 8 points of the night. Here's the roll for Austin as he tosses, and dangerous throw that time into traffic, as thankfully for Austin that falls incomplete.
Well, he lobbed it. If the safety come down here, that's a pick six right there. You know, I mean, you got your cornerback sitting right here.
Here comes the roll, and then that was a tight window toward Pinto as he was covered by Maddox Mooney, the free safety.
Well, I double cover Pinto everywhere because, you know, that's the go-to guy, and they moving him around.
Austin sets up the screen complete. As across the 40 to about the 41-yard line goes Jackson Howard, the running back. As that was a good play design that time by Jonathan Miller, as we'll take a Morrow Tire and Auto second look at this screen. Well designed as you see Howard make the grab at the 31. As a couple of Westbrook Christian defenders, including Jackson Maratz, on the play. As Howard able to move upfield, as we have, looks like an injured Bulldog down at the 39-yard line. We'll take this injury timeout with 9:51 to go in the opening half, tied up at 8.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
An injury timeout as a Piedmont player down. In fact, we heard from Shasta about Brody Blevins. Let's hear about the Piedmont quarterback in Cole Austin.
Yeah, thanks, James. I asked Cole how it feels leading the Bulldogs at quarterback as a sophomore. He said it's been pretty fun being able to take on this role and the pressure that comes along with it, but also the glory and the fun he gets to have with the guys. He's been learning the plays, getting used to the playbook and how they run things. He got to do it last year, but everything's fast-paced now that he has hit varsity. He has seen personal improvement in recognizing how the defense lines up and being able to read them a lot better. Sending it back to you.
Thank you very much, Shasta. As you take a look at Drake Bryant, the starting left guard for Piedmont, had to be carried off the field after that third down screen pass.
Well, James, you find Riley Pinto. He's going to take you to the football.
Here's the 1st and 10. As Austin loads up and throws, has his receiver downfield, and it's knocked away, a little underthrown that time and incomplete.
That was a touchdown right there. He just underthrew. I don't think he was the initial target. Pinto was the initial target, and when he wasn't there, he saw his receiver open on the side. So that's kind of a tough throw as a secondary throw. And if you're gonna throw deep, you normally have to you have to set up and spin it out there, man. And but Pinto, if you looked, he was looking Pinto all the way.
Eli Johnson, the intended receiver. Isaiah Hooten that time in coverage. Able to recover and knock it away as Austin on the roll. He throws, and a high throw, and is that complete? And does not look like it is. Incomplete. Intended for Raleigh Pinto.
Right, he came down out of bounds, but like I mentioned to you earlier, hey, Pinto is what make the motor go. So, hey, I'm doubling him everywhere.
Just under 9.5 minutes to go in the opening half. And both teams with 8 on the board. A blocked punt and the return by Ben Dempsey. And also a 19-yard run by Brody Wood for Westbrook Christian. 3rd down and 10.
Let's look for a screen or a draw.
Here's the fake.
See, look.
Austin goes down in the backfield as good discipline that time by the Westbrook Christian defense as Jerry Zering on the sack.
And I want you to see, James, they're looking Pinto all the way. Coach Smith, he has it lined up right there. He knows where they're going. Pinto goes out to the left. You look right there, Pinto is right there on that side, and they looking for him.
Able to apply the pressure that time is the Westbrook Christian D as Zering comes up with his first sack of the night. A loss of 11, 4th down as Raleigh Pinto stays out to punt. Kilgo at his own 37. That's a good punt by Pinto. As Kilgo, the fair catches, he drops the football. And let's see who makes the recovery. Piedmont says they have it. And they do.
Yeah, he muffed the punt right there. Just kind of came out his hands, and he couldn't get back on it. Yeah.
So the biggest mistake so far tonight for Westbrook Christian has come on their special teams. Just indeed, as Eddie mentioned, Kilco muffs the punt, and that Morrow Tire and Auto second look as Piedmont comes away with the football. So 1st down and 10 from the Westbrook Christian 38-yard line.
Well, we call that sudden change. You just got to go back and you got to make it happen because they're looking for Pinto now. He's in an ISO situation. I guarantee you that's who they're looking for.
Here's Austin as he wants to go downfield, and that's almost intercepted. The closest man to the football was the cornerback, Charles Michael.
That was great defense right there. He was in great position. Pinto wanted a flag, but that's not a flag.
In fact, looking at the Westbrook Christian starting D, Isaiah Hooten, Jake Haney, and Easton Skaggs up front. Titus Jones and Jackson Maratz, the outside linebackers. Wesley Whiteside and Jerry Zering, the inside linebackers. Carter Cothran and Charles Michael, the corners. And then Luke Thompson and Maddox Mooney are the safeties.
Yeah, that was just great coverage right there. He ran up the cornerback's back.
2nd down, quick throw. Complete to Pinto to the near side. Almost able to take it for big yardage as he gets tripped up about the 24-yard line. Nice job on the part of Jerry Zering as he was able to lunge out and just get Pinto by the ankles.
He did, but again, James, if I'm defending Pinto on situations like that, I'm going to double him.
Yardage good enough for an iCare Alabama 1st down as Pinto on the jet sweep carry. Looks for running room. Chase down as he turns the corner as he's able to get close to the iCare Alabama 1st down. There you saw Easton Skaggs down the field trying to help out on the play. As that's close, I believe may have gotten another Piedmont 1st down.
And he's running a unique jet sweep. He's actually not jetting across the field. He's sort of jogging and kind of picking where he's going to turn the football up at.
Gain of 11 yards, 1st down.
Hadn't seen it done like that before.
It'll be Austin wrapped up, stays on his feet as he avoids a tackle, and can't get out of the way of 3 other white shirts at the 20-yard line. Good pursuit on the part of the Warriors D as the stop made by Isaiah Hooten, the sophomore. So that play loses 7 all the way back to the 20-yard line. Knotted up at 8 as both of the scores came about midway through the first quarter. A tight ball game as both teams trying to play for sole possession of first place in Class 3A Region 6.
Okay, they doubling them up top right there. I put the safety in the middle of the field. I play these guys down here one-on-one. But you got to double Pinto because they're going.
Austin under pressure, flushed out as he wants to throw to the end zone, and in the back of the end zone, that's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the backup wide receiver for Piedmont and Eli Johnson. We'll take the scramble look and throwing across his body. I tell you what, that was a really good throw by Austin.
Absolutely.
As Johnson just not quite able to reel that in the back of the end zone. So third down. Long yardage situation coming up.
You got to have integrity on your rush lanes, though, right here, James. They got good coverage downfield, but they're not. The defensive line is not maintaining integrity on their rushing lanes.
Here's Austin, loads up, wants to go downfield and goes to the end zone. Jump ball, is that caught? If that's inbounds, that's a touchdown, and it's a touchdown for Piedmont. Trying to see who came up with that football. As Raleigh Pinto appeared, the intended receiver is we'll take a Morrow Tire and Auto second look at an incredible catch along the sideline for the Piedmont touchdown.
I thought he was out of bounds, but it looked awfully close.
Oh, there's that foot in for Raleigh Pinto as he's able to secure the catch from 20 yards out. Let's take a look against two defenders, and there's that foot. That's a great view of the foot that just able to stay in bounds for Raleigh Pinto. So 14-8 in favor of Piedmont. 2-point try coming up. Play fake. And the throw into the end zone. And that's caught by Pinto for the 2-point conversion, or is it?
Well, it depends on if it's offensive pass interference. I don't know if they got him on a push-off.
Well, there is a flag on the play. It appeared that the ball was caught by Pinto. We'll see who the penalty is on, and it appears it's going to go on Westbrook Christian.
So defensive pass interference.
So add 2 points on the board for Piedmont as they're able to take a 16-8 lead as we're under 7 minutes to go in the opening half here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Our double box look as Piedmont able to come up with a third down and long. Amazing reception by Raleigh Pinto, a 20-yard touchdown as he was also able to flag in the 2-point conversion catch. Second quarter, James Hardy with you along with Coach Eddie Bullock as our kickoff coming up, provided by David's Wrecker Service. So far, Piedmont, their second time that they've had an 8-point lead tonight. As Cleveland on the kickoff. A short end-over-end kick as that's fielded about the 15-yard line. As Wood turns the corner, gets across the 40, and pushed out of bounds just shy of the 45-yard line. So Westbrook Christian, they're going to have good field position coming up. Our second quarter sponsored by our friends at Ethan Rogers Alpha Insurance Agency, located right here in Piedmont, Alabama. You can find him at Ethan Rogers Alpha Insurance Agency on Facebook. Also, alphainsurance.com/Ethan Rogers. And there you see, and also his phone number on the screen. Big thanks to all of our sponsors this week. And also, we heard during the break from our friends at the Grub Mart, of course, right down the street and all throughout our FNN coverage area, the Oleo Donuts, 99-cent bags of ice, and a lot more from our friends at the Grub Mart. And there you go. First down and 10 for Westbrook Christian from their own 44. Here's Blevins. Lowers his head and pile drives a defender to about the 45-yard line for a short gain. Nice defense that time on the part of the linebacker Bentley Chandler, who makes the tackle. We'll hear from our coaches at least before and after halftime. Probably at this time we'll be hearing from Jonathan Miller prior to his Piedmont Bulldogs going into the halftime locker room. We had Coach Miller and also Carson Sanders and Ben Dempsey as part of our Tuesday night coaches show this past Tuesday. Second down and 9. Here's Blevins. Drops back. He wants to go downfield to Johnson, and not quite able to make the catch that time. A tight window, but a good throw by Blevins as he's almost able to make a big connection.
Oh, that's a great throw, man. He had him right there. You just got to look that one in. I mean, he made an excellent throw. Nice touch on the football. He put enough air on it, and he just got to reach out and get that one.
Yeah, just a little bit off for Johnson that time. As there you see a couple of the defenders for Piedmont. As on Ivan Jones, one of those defensive backs on the coverage. 3rd and 9. Line to reach is the 46 of Piedmont. Here's the play action. Blevins throws, and in another tight window, and this time great coverage on the part of Piedmont. Is able to make at least the coverage is Nathan Studdard.
Yeah, that was great coverage by Studdard right there. He almost made a dive and pick on that. That's excellent coverage. It's a great play fake, though, by Blevins. I mean, it's set up nice. They're throwing it into the boundary, so you don't have a lot of real estate to work with.
Reed Barber back to punt. Second punt of the night for him. Actually, third punt. One of those prior to got blocked. This time a high spiraling punt. As that'll fall down at the 15, and that'll be stopped about the 19-yard line. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half as Piedmont takes over from their own 19-yard line. Now, Westbrook Christian has helped out Piedmont a couple of times with special teams miscues. One of those, of course, has been the block punt, and then the other, the muffed punt from Bo Kilgo that was recovered by Piedmont. And that set up eventually the Austin to the Raleigh Pinto 20-yard touchdown pass.
Absolutely. And you know Coach Steve Smith, he's a veteran coach. He goes in the locker room, he tell these guys, hey, if we don't have 2 miscues, we up 8-0, you know. So it's, you use that momentum. You don't want to pull the morale down going into the locker room, even though you make a mistake. But right here, you got to get a 3 and out if you want to have some success.
Mixon the lone setback as Pinto in motion. Pinto gets the call. Off the right side, shows his patience, and now turns the corner and off to the races across midfield. And he's on his way to the end zone, and he'll score. Give him 6. Touchdown, Piedmont. 81 yards for Raleigh Pinto.
Yeah, you can't let him outside. You got to make him run back into the traffic there, man. And I saw earlier he has a set of wheels on him, boy. So, he's not running. See, he's jogging. That's not a traditional jet, but they still letting him outside, and just a couple of blocks, and then he turned on the wheels right here.
Well, there you see also Mixon with a key block to spring Pinto all the way to pay dirt. And not much from there that Westbrook Christian can do as far as trying to chase down one of the top players in the state. 2-point conversion try as Austin able to stroll in for the 2-point conversion. And we'll take the timeout. 5:13 to go opening half. It's Piedmont off to a 24-8 lead here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
An outstanding display of vision by Raleigh Pinto as he was able to hit the hole and fly down the field from 81 yards out for his second touchdown of the quarter. And that's catapulted Piedmont into a 16-point advantage as we're past the halfway point here in the second quarter.
Well, you go to now, Coach Miller, all the years I coached against him, he's always been great at, going to his playmakers. And if you look at the last 10 plays, I guarantee you Riley was probably involved in 8 of them.
Ethan Rogers, Alpha Insurance Agency, brings us our second quarter in the David's Wrecker Service kickoff. As a bouncing kickoff advanced upfield across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. And you mentioned that was a backbreaker, at least right now, for Westbrook Christian because they've actually done a really good job defensively prior to giving up that 81-yard touchdown.
Absolutely. That particular play right there hurt. And as I mentioned earlier, Westbrook hasn't done a great job at containing, keeping everything on the inside. You gotta have gap integrity, and you got to make sure that you set the edge and turn those plays inside. And they're just not doing a good job at on the outside edges there.
Now, Piedmont, keep in mind, they do get the football to start the second half. This is a big offensive possession for Westbrook Christian. They're in definite need of a score as here's the pop pass that goes to Johnson. Stiff arms one defender, and he gets bounced out of bounds across the 40 at about the 41-yard line, but that should be good enough for the iCare Alabama first down for Westbrook Christian.
Well, the key for a young team right here, if you watch the receiver, he probably should have ran him off, but instead he stalk blocked, and they let him know that it was a run right there. And his man comes back and make the tackle.
Bentley Chandler makes the nice pop on the wide receiver, Brody Johnson. Before that, Johnson able to across that first down marker. Gain of 11. Man comes in motion. As Wood on the call, and he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Have a couple of those frontline defenders, including Leo Wright. Wright's had a good game at that defensive tackle spot. Able to come up with the stop. No gain, sets up a second and long. Well, more than likely here. In fact, I would say we will hear from Coach Jonathan Miller prior to his team going to the locker room. Next week will be non-region play across the state of Alabama. 2nd and 10. So we'll have a whistle and looks like a flag, or before that, a timeout called for by Piedmont. As you take a look at our trip next week as far as our game of the week, we're going to Odenville, to St. Clair County, as Shelby County, a solid squad out of Class 5A. They'll be making the trip up to St. Clair County to take on the Fighting Saints. Our coverage, as always, begins at 6:30, and Toe Meets Leather at 7 o'clock. A rising program in our area on the western edge of our FNN coverage area in St. Clair County, as we'll be going to Odenville next week. St. Clair County coming off a tough loss to Moody last week, as they still have some big games ahead of them. They beat Montgomery Catholic, gave Montgomery Catholic their first loss since 2022, so they've already been able to get a signature win this season. And at least tonight, one of these two teams trying to come up with a signature win, as Piedmont coming at least out in front by 16 points. And they're able to get a block punt by Ben Dempsey. He had a short return of that block punt for a touchdown. And then Raleigh Pinto with a receiving and a rushing touchdown tonight. And for Westbrook Christian, they have a Brody Wood 19-yard touchdown run, their only score so far tonight. So 2nd down and 10. Just a little bit north of 4 minutes to go until halftime. Here's the keeper. Blevins hits hard and then able to go forward, really fall forward that time for about 2, maybe 3 yards. That was a hard hit. Chase Kirkpatrick finishes off the play on the tackle.
Absolutely. He came down here. He laid some lumber that time. Blevins going to have to try to do a little bit more finesse with them. When you get to that second level, they lowering their head. So, I'm gonna finesse that guy back there. I'm gonna dead leg him and make him see if he can tackle in space.
I think if it came up to a vote from our friends at the Calhoun County Commission, they may have to provide some bags of ice to all of the players that have gotten the receiving ends of those hard licks so far tonight. Timeout on the field. We'll take the timeout with them. 3:24 to go until halftime. Your score, Piedmont 24 and Westbrook Christian 8.
Wise Environmental Solutions Incorporated is a leader in the enhanced waste collection, septic system, and resource recovery services industry in Alabama. With over 40 years of experience, we are committed to delivering superior customer service, innovative solutions, and protecting human and natural resources. Equipped to handle any situation, from regular residential services to emergency response situation. Some of the services that Wise Environmental Solutions offer is portable restrooms for events, restroom trailers, shower trailers, septic services, dumpsters and roll-offs, and industrial pumping. We are located at 2345 AL Highway 21 in Oxford, Alabama. Contact us today to take care of your event.
Piedmont 24 and Westbrook Christian 8. 3rd down and 8 on the way. As the line to reach for the first down is the Piedmont 49-yard line. Westbrook Christian trying to stay on the field and get some momentum. Here's Blevins. Tosses wide open, receiver complete. I Care Alabama first down for the Warriors as they get into Piedmont territory as Kilgo makes the reception for his first reception of the night, and a good time to come up with it because that keeps the Warriors offense on the field.
That's a great throw right there. But again, I say if you watch the receiver, they lowering the heads going, and I think that they should use a little bit more finesse right there. Make them see if they can move their feet and tackle in space.
Bo Kilgo, his 8th catch of the season. First catch tonight as Westbrook Christian offense back out on the field. As the quick give up the middle and not much going that time. Back to the 35, maybe the 34-yard line. Positive momentum for about a yard that time. So 2nd down coming up. As Westbrook Christian would love to get a score here before they go into the halftime locker room.
I think I'm going to put it in there, James. I think I'm just going to keep it in there right now so I can preserve the clock.
So still for Westbrook Christian, they have a couple of timeouts remaining. No timeouts for Piedmont. As Blevins, a little bit of an errant snap, but Blevins able to reel it in. However, good pursuit that time and a good job by the front 7 for Piedmont. As Carson Sanders from his outside linebacking spot comes up on the stop. Under 2 minutes to go until halftime. So that play maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Line to reach for the first down as the football at the 34. It's going to be around the 25 for Westbrook Christian to keep this drive alive. So the Warriors able to get a completion to Kilgo on the last 3rd and long. See what Blevins does here. Blevins with the rush coming. Tosses, and that's complete. And that should be good enough for the iCare Alabama first down.
See, he has a nice arm, James. He's set in the pocket. When they protect him, when they make that mushroom, if you look right here, as they drop back, when you see that mushroom and he sets in the pocket, he spins a good football, man.
Nicholas Glover on the stop. Maximus Jones on the big third down reception of 10 yards. So they stop play as there was a penalty. Looked like a pass interference penalty or a holding penalty, as indicated by Thomas Pratt, our referee, but that's waved off and the catch good enough for the first down. So that moves the football inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. That is an iCare Alabama first down. Also our FNN game of the week brought to you by our friends at the Calhoun County Commission. We'll also bring us our halftime report each and every week as the play clock blown back into play. Here's the play fake. Rush comes. Here's the throw to the end zone. One-on-one coverage as that is knocked away and incomplete as Ben Dempsey knocks it away in one-on-one coverage intended for Brody Johnson.
Well, he underthrew him just a little bit right there. If he put a little bit more on that, he has a chance. It's good football right there. Nice air right there. But look, he underthrows it just a little bit, and the defensive back is able to get a hand on it. You got to throw that more to the power line.
Yeah, Ben Dempsey, who we were able to have a great chat with on Tuesday, that time on the deflection. 2nd and 10. Blevins rolls and now rounds the corner. He's into the open, and he's into the end zone. Give him 6. Touchdown, Westbrook Christian.
Oh, he got a set of wheels on him too, James. That's just a little outside zone with the quarterback right there, and that's how you want to respond.
24 yards on the touchdown run on the quarterback sweep by Brody Blevins. There you see a lot of players in the box for Piedmont. As through the initial containment is Blevins as he's able to scamper free for the touchdown. As now Westbrook Christian going for 2.
Had on a hat right there. Everybody got a nice block, and looked like Piedmont was catching on that particular play right there. Instead of them coming upfield, they were back catching on that. You know, Westbrook was the hammer. They were the nails that time.
So 24-14 in favor of Piedmont, as they've yet to blow the play clock. It looks like there was a penalty, might have been after the touchdown. So at least the touchdown right now still on the board as we have 52 seconds left until halftime.
So I'm wondering if they got him for celebration on sportsmanlike. I didn't see the call.
So they'll move the football back 15 yards then. So they have the football in at the 18-yard line, and we'll have a whistle. And looks like a timeout called for by Steve Smith. Westbrook Christian calls the timeout, and we'll take the timeout with them with 52 seconds to go until halftime. That's Westbrook Christian down by 10.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Absolutely.
Piedmont 24 and Westbrook Christian 14. You had Brody Blevins that apparently spiked the football after the touchdown. So that moved the football back from the 3 to the 18-yard line for this a point after conversion tries. We'll take a second look from Morrow Tire and Auto. on this quarterback sweep from Brody Blevins.
Watch, that's first initial block, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was crushing blocks right there. Now, Blevins was able to get in, but he's a quarterback, man. You cannot. Let's see what he do.
Yeah, he did spike the football, and there you see the football go bouncing in the air, so that's what drew the yellow flag from the official in the end zone.
And I'm like, on that, man, I mean, you can't spike it, but I saw earlier they had a touchdown and the guy spun the ball in the end zone. So, I mean, spinning versus spiking.
Looks as if they are going to go and try for two as Blevins rolls. Needs to go for the end zone and does so here, and had a receiver but came up a little bit short to Johnson due to the pressure.
He had him. He just underthrew it just a hair, man, if he could put a little bit more on it. But I like his poise, man. You know, he didn't try to run it because that was impossible for him to make it run, and so he gave himself the best possible chance.
Yeah, almost. That's a low percentage play to go for two from the 18-yard line, and Westbrook Christian nearly able to pull that off.
Well, and like we was talking off camera, you know, I would have probably kicked that instead of chasing points. I would have kicked it, and, you know, you're still within 9 points, you know, scoring a field goal if you miss that PAT. But, you know, you're still within 10, 9 touchdowns and the field goal. So
still at least a little bit of a shot in the arm for Westbrook Christian momentum-wise as Reed Barber to kick it off. David's Wrecker service with a Westbrook Christian kickoff coming up.
Now, you don't kick it to Pinto. I'm going to kick it back up through there by the scoreboard where the field house is, and I believe we can play defense for 52 seconds.
Toe meets leather. Good kick from Barber as it'll send Mixon and Pinto back into the end zone for a touchback.
You don't give Riley Cadillac an opportunity to run that football. I told you, I don't think some of our watchers may old school know what a Pinto is, but, you know, that was a small car, but I think he's a big luxury car.
Oh, he's a lot more value than just that economy car of yesteryear.
Or Raleigh Corvette.
There you go. I think Raleigh would love to. We need to get Raleigh to hear the archive of that, and I imagine he'd love that too. Number 1 down on the field. Ran it in from 81 yards out on the last Piedmont snap. 52 seconds left here in the first half. There's Austin. Quick throw, and that's caught across the way, across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. And there's Eli Johnson with the grab, his first of the night. A 5'9", 147-pound junior receiver.
Now, I'll let those guys catch it all night, tackle them inbound, but you don't let.
7-yard gain for Johnson. Maybe down to one more play here in the first half. There's the snap and give to Mixon. Able to cross the 30, and that'll move the chains on the iCare Alabama first down. Our Shasta Jones waiting for Coach Jonathan Miller. As there you see iCare Alabama first down with locations in Natala, Roanoke, and of course here in Piedmont. For some of the best eye care service in our area. As we're about to head down to double zeros. One more play to go as Austin loads up. Wants to go downfield. There's a flag on the play as he throws it for all it's worth into traffic, and that'll fall on the turf. Might have been intercepted, but let's sort out the flag here as if it goes on Piedmont. That'll end the first half.
Absolutely, and if not, we'll play one untimed down, and I saw Coach Smith giving them the flag. They're telling everybody don't let nobody get behind them. You don't want to intercept this ball, man. If it's thrown in your area, just bat it down to the ground and let's go in at halftime.
There's Thomas Pratt, our referee that we've gotten to know quite well this season. Saw him at ASD to open up our schedule this year, also at Lincoln, and then last week at Anniston for our game of the week.
He's getting all the tough games out. He told me earlier down at the sideline, he said, hey, make sure your guys don't have their microphone on when I'm talking to my officials. I said, I'll do my best. So
I got to get an inside look every once in a while.
Absolutely. He don't want us to hear those conversations there, but that's not a hard call. If it's offense, let's just go on in the half, and if it's against the defense, let's go head on. You know they're going to accept it and do one on time down. But
so Thomas Pratt, this is it, points across the way to Westbrook Christian as far as getting their input, as it appears the penalty will go on Piedmont.
So we want to end the half. I don't want to do a kick six thing again.
Well, still Thomas Pratt's crew, who we haven't heard quite as much this week as we have in a few of our other games this season. It appears the penalty will go on Piedmont, and that penalty will be declined. So I imagine Shasta will be hearing from Coach Jonathan Miller as well as Shasta Jones, almost right at the location to flag down Coach Miller prior to his team going into the halftime locker room. A solid first half. Really entertaining first half for both teams, but for Piedmont, a couple of big plays offensively as well as a couple of big plays on special teams has propelled them into a 10-point lead, as we'll send it down to the field for Shasta Jones and Coach Jonathan Miller.
Coach Miller, the Bulldogs this first half. Dempsey blocked a punt, took it right back in for a touchdown. Pinto with 2 touchdowns. What do the Bulldogs need to do to keep this momentum going throughout the second half?
Sustain some drives and run the football between the tackles a little bit better. We've made some big plays, but we got to run it between the tackles better.
Anything else? Your defense has been impeccable themselves. Anything else to keep Westbrook just from scoring any more in the second half?
We busted a couple coverages, did some things that we'd like to have back, but we just got to play better all the way around.
All right, thank you. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Send it back to you, Hardy.
Thank you, Shasta, and thank you, Coach Jonathan Miller, as we'll take it to halftime. Our halftime coverage provided by the Calhoun County Commission begins after this timeout. Piedmont 24 and Westbrook Christian 14 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver Card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
At iCare Alabama, our goal is to meet the needs of every patient. Dr. Dwayne Mohan and Dr. Ryan Price always strive for excellent outcomes. We want each patient to get the best vision and medical care possible. At iCare Alabama, we utilize all the latest technological advances to ensure that you receive the best quality eye care. So call for an appointment at any of our 4 locations in Piedmont, Heflin, Roanoke, or Atala and see the difference. Most insurance is accepted. iCare Alabama. Efficient, effective eye care close to home.
Did you know Kona Ice can help you fundraise for your school? It's true. It's quick, it's easy, and the kids absolutely love having Kona Ice. We'll let you in on a little secret. Teachers love it too. So, how can we help you fundraise this year? It's quick, it's easy, the kids love it, and teachers love it too.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnn.bank. Member FDIC.
at halftime from the Field of Champions here at Piedmont High School as Piedmont leads by a score of 24-14. James Hardy with you, along with Coach Eddie Bullock, Shasta Jones down along the sidelines, as well as our FNN crew, as Westbrook Christian's marching band down on the field. But also Jackson New has some first-half totals for us as Piedmont has led most of the way so far, up by 10 at halftime.
Yeah, for sure. And really, it's been the Roley Pinto Austin show, really. I mean, Roley Pinto, 150 yards total and 2 touchdowns at the half. That is 105 rushing and 45 receiving. I mean, that guy's just ridiculous.
Go ahead.
And, of course, Austin 6 for 15, 63 yards with 1 touchdown. And, of course, you know, to start off this game, Ben Dempsey with a 2-yard punt block. That was absolutely huge to kind of get the momentum going for Piedmont.
And then tell us as far as some of the Westbrook Christian highlights in that first half statistically.
And it's been the Brody show. 3 Brodys on the Westbrook Christian team. Brody Blevins, Brody Wood, Brody Johnson. Those guys, Brody Blevins, 9 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. You've seen that long one to end the half. And then you got Brody Wood, 9 carries, 19 yards and a touchdown. He broke loose that one time, and ever since then, Piedmont's done a really good job containing him.
So 24-14 at halftime, and let's show you how we got to this point through the first 2 quarters of play. As you heard, a pretty good breakdown statistically from Jackson New, as we'll take a Morrow Tire and Auto look at the first half. And at least this looks as if the touchdown run from Blevins. That's a big touchdown for Westbrook Christian, as he was able to at least get through the initial wave of defenders and race to the end zone from 24 yards out. Now that's a little spike after the touchdown cost his team 15 yards, as at halftime it's 24-14 in favor of Piedmont here at the Field of Champions, as we'll take some more looks courtesy of Morrow Tire and Auto, as one of the first runs of the ball game from Raleigh Pinto as he was able to sprint toward a first down. And then Cole Austin takes the direct snap, and like Pinto, able to get some running room for decent yardage to get his offense for the first time into Westbrook Christian territory. Westbrook Christian actually had a pretty decent start defensively in the first half, as the first 2 scores from Piedmont were set up by Westbrook Christian mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. They did a very good job, containing Piedmont in the early game, but then they started getting the ball to their playmakers, Pinto, and he's what kind of broke free.
And here is the block punt from Ben Dempsey, as he was able to return his own block punt for the touchdown. And then this was a big response from Westbrook Christian, as Maximus Jones able to make a big 3rd down reception for the iCare Alabama first down. And then next play, it was Brody Wood able to break the tackle and go to pay dirt for his first and only score at the first half. From 19 yards, 2-point conversion try. Nice, made it 8-8, as this was a 2-point conversion reception also by Wood. That tied it at 8. And really, it was a back and forth, a stalemate in the first quarter. As here you see Ethan Skaggs coming up to make a big TFL on 3rd down. And come, at least on offense, Blevins, a solid first half as he's able to power his way to a first down.
He's hard to take down on first contact, man.
And this was his best throw of the night, a big 3rd and 13 pass to Johnson for a first down. And then this might have been a mistake as far as a tactical decision from Westbrook Christian, as Reed Barber missed on a 50-yard field goal that gave Piedmont some good field position. A quick throw to the far side to Pinto, as Pinto was able to have a pretty big first half as Jackson broke down to us. And then some good defense, as thankfully for Austin on that throw, didn't have it picked off. Then a good play call here from Jonathan Miller on 3rd down and 9 on the screen pass to Jackson Howard for a first down. And a couple of missed opportunities offensively as well, as that pass to Eli Johnson a bit underthrown, as that fell harmlessly incomplete.
And a beautiful route there by Johnson. Austin just could not hit him deep there.
As here's under pressure, and a sack that time on the part of Westbrook Christian, as Zering able to come up with his one sack of the first half. And then there's the second special teams mistake as Kilgo muffed a punt, and that directly led to the second score of the night on third down. As here you see a tough pass by Cole Austin, as some acrobatic footwork by Raleigh Pinto got the Piedmont Bulldogs back on top.
I mean, you can't even put into words how incredible that guy is. I mean, triple coverage.
And there's a reason why Pinto is one of the top receivers in the entire state. Here's a pass downfield from Blevins, as just misses to Johnson on a potential big play. And then Pinto with, at that time, a back-breaking play. Look at his vision as he's able to set up his blockers and then just sprint down the field the rest of the way from 81.
And good luck. When that guy gets in space, good luck catching him. You're looking at the back of his jersey.
81 yards out, as that's our recap of the opening half. Our halftime coverage brought to you by our friends at the Calhoun County Commission. Here's the Piedmont Marching Band at midfield, as we'll also hear from Coach Steve Smith prior to his team beginning the third quarter. As your score at halftime, it is Westbrook Christian down to Piedmont on the road 24-14 here at the Field of Champions.
Step into the offices of J. Britt Middlebrook CPA, where you'll find professional one-on-one service for business and individual clients. In this ever-changing tax and economic climate, you can count on receiving the expert advice you need. J. Britt Middlebrook works hard to provide every client what they need to meet all deadlines. Tax season will be here soon. For all your accounting service needs, call or stop by at 1913 Berry Street in Oxford. That's J. Britt Middlebrook, CPA.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
Westbrook Christian in Piedmont, at 24-14. Piedmont on top as our halftime report, brought to you by our friends at the Calhoun County Commission. James Hardy with you as take a look across the way at the Piedmont Marching Band performing at halftime, as you also see the starting five when it comes to the Calhoun County Commission. A big thanks to all of those five that you see, including Danny Shears, all of our members of the Calhoun County Commission, big friends when it comes to FNN, longtime sponsors and partners of ours for the FNN High School Football Game of the Week. Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, J.D. Hess, and Lee Patterson. We heard as far as some of the numbers from Jackson New when it came to Raleigh Pinto in the first half. A big impact so far with 2 touchdowns. That's helped his team get Piedmont, get to the 10-point advantage at halftime. And it looks as if before we get to Coach Steve Smith, let's hear from Jonathan Miller from earlier this week. It's our FNN cameras, or FNN microphones, I should say, able to catch up with him. And we asked him about just the impact that Raleigh Pinto has made on this Piedmont program.
Well, I think the number one thing is that he brings to the table is competitiveness. That's a big thing for me. Obviously, he's a talented player, but I think just his competitive nature kind of rubs off on the team. And, he's a winner. It's all about winning and doing the necessary things it takes to win. So that's what I think about when I think about Raleigh.
And Eddie, you heard what Coach Miller had to say about one of the top players in the state. Just describe as far as when it comes to Raleigh Pinto, what are the things that it takes, whether you're a role player on the team or a star player like Raleigh Pinto, what are the things that it takes week in and week out to win?
Well, I sized him up last year at our banquet, and he's not a big kid, but he has that experience. He's very athletic, and he has that experience. So he's playing, with I wouldn't necessarily say a chip on his shoulder, but he has that little arrogance that he needs, like to go out there like, hey, I've been doing this a long time, and he got the skills to go with it. So He does a great job, man. Like I said, he don't traditionally run the jet like we do. He jog, but he know what he's doing. So he one of those players you just say, go out and play football.
At least the kids wouldn't call it cockiness. They'd call it swagger as far
That's right.
As far as just that ultimate confidence in yourself.
Right. And it's a positive confidence. It's not just a arrogance, like I'm going out there. It's like, hey, I can do this, and he got all the God-given talent. So, he can run. He know the game. He knows situations, and he's a competitor. So, he's a problem. He's a problem for other teams.
Well, Steve Smith knows also, and Westbrook Christian as a whole knows he's been a huge problem as far as trailing by 10. Don't forget, at 10 o'clock after the game tonight, the Bucks Island Scoreboard Show with a look at scores across the state, coaches' interviews, important region standings as we get close to the midway point of the season, and so much more. That's the Bucks Island Post-Scoreboard Show after the game tonight. And also don't forget to download the FNN app, as you can watch our Friday night coverage on our FNN Network app each and every week, live and on demand, as well as our Tuesday night coaches shows. And you can also find out schedules from teams around our area and so much more on our FNN Network app. And don't forget, as far as a bit of an adjustment as far as our schedule over the back half of the regular season. This will be at Shelby County next week. Also keep in mind, we'll be making a return trip to Anniston in 2 weeks for what should be another big-time 4A Region 6 matchup for Anniston at home against Cherokee County. And then we'll also make the trip up to Glencoe toward the end of October, as they'll have what could be a playoff clinching matchup against Locust Fork, as we'll send it down to the field for Shasta Jones with Westbrook Christian coach Steve Smith.
Coach Smith, you had touchdown receptions from Wood and Blevins. Your defense, though, could not stop Piedmont this first half. What do you need to see the defense do, and what do you need to do to stop the drops on the catches this last quarter or last half?
We did a pretty good job on defense. Had an 80-yard touchdown run. Their first touchdown came on a block punt. We just had a mistake in the kicking game. We've been really good in the kicking game all year long. The kicking game killed us in the first half. With the block punt, we had kickoff out of bounds. We had a drop punt when they punted to us and gave them the ball on about our 40. just mistakes we hadn't made all year long in the kicking game, so we got to clean that up. And like I said, defensively, I wasn't really that disappointed with how our defense played, other than the long run that they had there. About 80-yard touchdown was probably our worst play on the half on the defensive side. But we got to play better complementary ball. We got to be good in the kicking game, and we got to get off the field on the defensive side. And offensively, we need to sustain some drives.
Well, good luck the second half, and we'll catch up with you later.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We're going to send it back to you, Hardy.
Thank you, Shasta. As there you heard from Coach Steve Smith that, in fact, that's another thing that he told me, Eddie, on Wednesday when I was able to catch up with him, is he wants to see his team this season play complementary football, and they just weren't able to do so, especially really the two big mistakes on special teams. That's cost them. That's really contributed to 2 of the 3 Piedmont touchdowns tonight.
Absolutely, and if you take away, as I mentioned to you earlier, if you take away the special teams miscues, Westbrook is winning this game, man. So I knew once he went in at halftime, he's not disappointed in that defense, and he's not disappointed in that offense. It's just they got to clean up the special teams.
And one of those keys that Steve Smith mentioned to me was the kicking game, as that has been, once again, the shortcoming so far through the first 24 minutes for Westbrook Christian, as Piedmont has gotten the fumble recovery off the muff punt from Bo Kilgo. That led to the first of 2 touchdowns for Raleigh Pinto in that second quarter. And then the first score of the night directly from the efforts of Ben Dempsey, a block punt, and then able to stroll in from a couple of yards. As we take a look at our keys for tonight, Westbrook Christian needing to limit Raleigh Pinto, which in the first quarter they did. Not so much in the second quarter, as Raleigh Pinto with a couple of explosive plays that resulted in touchdowns. Also, Piedmont needs to contain as far as the passing attack from Brody Blevins. And then also the team that is able to limit the mistakes, including penalties and turnovers.
Absolutely, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the game. Westbrook had to prove they could throw it, and the team with less penalties.
So both teams back out onto the field as we're a few minutes away from getting things started for the second half. Piedmont, number 2 this week in the state of Alabama in Class 3A, according to the Alabama Sports Writers Association. And remember, opening week for them, a 24-8 win, which really that score not indicative of how much Piedmont dominated Cherokee County in their season opening win. And they've also won 19 region championships in their program history. Last year, Westbrook Christian lost 38-10 to Piedmont at home. And so far, Westbrook Christian is averaging about 43 points per ball game in their first 3 wins. And then even down a couple of scores with the mistakes on special teams, Eddie, and Piedmont getting the ball to start this second half. If their defense can generate some momentum here, get some field position, Westbrook Christian, even though they're down 10 and they've made some mistakes, they are not out of this ball game.
Right. Well, the way both teams are playing right now, 10 points is not a lot, for what either team is capable of. It could go Piedmont's way and become a blowout, or Westbrook can come back and make it a game. So I'm interested to see, we talk about halftime adjustments. I'm interested to see which team made the better adjustments at halftime.
Now, we heard Jonathan Miller prior to his team going into the locker room, happy that his team, of course, is up 10, but not totally satisfied with how they've executed in that first half.
Absolutely. And I think offensively, Westbrook actually played a little bit better than Piedmont, because it didn't take them as much to score. Piedmont had to kind of struggle to score, but, of course, they found their go-to guy, Riley, and he was able to make some plays. But I think Westbrook scored a little easier, and I don't mean that easy. They just walked it down the field. I think they were more in rhythm scoring than Piedmont was. So, Piedmont going to have to make a statement coming out.
What is Jonathan Miller? What did he tell his team in the locker room?
Hey, I guarantee you he used the special team. He glad that he's up, but I guarantee you he told them that, hey, had not we made a couple of special team plays, we wouldn't be in this situation. So we got to get this offense cranked up, and we got to make sure we make some things happen.
Now, this could be a momentum-setting drive for one of these two teams to start the third quarter, as right now Piedmont has not trailed tonight. There has been a tie after one quarter of play. as it was knotted up at 8 through the first 12 minutes. But thanks to Raleigh Pinto's athleticism, a 20-yard touchdown catch on 3rd and long, and then an 81-yard touchdown sprint on the first play of their most recent scoring drive. And also to keep in mind, Piedmont has successfully converted on all 3 of their 2-point conversion tries. So that's a big reason why Piedmont's been able to maintain a 2-score advantage.
Well, Piedmont, as we say in football terms, they hadn't left any points out on the field. They've capitalized on everything. They scored touchdowns, and they scored 2-point conversions. And that's what you got to do. You got to get all you can.
Reed Barber set to kick things away. And then you'll have Pinto along with Mixon and Alejandre Wright back to return. David's Wrecker service kickoff, a high end-over-end kick that hits well into the end zone and out for a touchback. 24-hour towing service from David's Wrecker Service and Body Shop. Also Rayborn's Automotive. They help bring us. A big thanks to them for sponsoring our kickoffs tonight. And our third quarter brought to you by Countertop Creations. As you can check them out at 256-413-0382 or on their website at countertopcreationsal.com. Granite, marble, engineered stone that Countertop Creations provides to you. 1st and 10. As the give right up the gut, and good blocking by the front 5 for Piedmont, as that helps spring a solid run by Ethan Tidwell.
Well, Coach Miller mentioned that at halftime that he had to run the football between the tackles, so he so far has stuck with his word. I know it's only one play, but, he came out and he was true to his word. Hey, we're going to run it between tackles.
Check that Jackson Howard on the iCare Alabama first down run. Howard again on the call as he'll bang his way for some tough yards in the middle for about 3 yards to the 34. There you see 844-480-2020 for iCare Alabama. Atala as well as Piedmont, a couple of their locations here in our FNN coverage area. Piedmont comes into tonight having won all 7 games in this series against Westbrook Christian. Looking to make it win number 8 as the keeper for Austin as he gets sandwiched and dropped in the backfield. Skaggs helps out. Also, Maddox Mooney from his safety spot on the stop.
Well, they done an influence pull right there. They pulled the tackle in the guard, and the end crashed down, so the quarterback pulls it and keep it. But it had a lot of backside penetration.
Also, Jake Haney with good pursuit from his defensive line spot at nose guard.
That's a zone read. If the end squat, he give it. If the end crashed down, he pull it. But he didn't have enough speed to get outside. It's too much backside pursuit.
Loses a couple. 3rd and long.
It's a chance for Westbrook right here to get off the field right here. You want to make sure you cover. Fine Pinto.
Austin goes downfield, has a wide open receiver in Johnson for the reception as he makes the catch at the Westbrook Christian 32. Nobody in the area code of Eli Johnson.
Right, that's just blown coverage right there. It's just a straight go.
Eddie, we were closer to this play than any white shirt for Westbrook Christian. There you see no white shirt in the picture, and fortunately for the Warriors, Eli Johnson's momentum brought him out of bounds. Here's Pinto on the carry as he tries to escape the defense, and he'll just scamper out of bounds and at least get whatever yardage he can, and in fact, he might have lost a yard.
And I'm curious to know what kind of coverage they win because the cornerback looked like he squatted for cover 2. But if you're in cover 2, the safety got to be over the top. And that, like you mentioned earlier, that was nobody even close. Nobody in that zip code close to them.
I think you and I were as close to making the stop on Eli Johnson as any Westbrook Christian defender was. Thankfully, Westbrook Christian was able to get a good defensive play there to force Raleigh Pinto out of bounds for no gain.
Well, and the other good thing about it is you don't let Raleigh Pinto catch that pass because if he catches it, hey, it's gone to the house.
Here's Jackson Howard for some solid yardage across the 30 to the 26-yard line for a gain of 6. We played the first 2 minutes and a bit of change here in the third quarter. Countertop Creations presents our third quarter. They'll give them 7, so third down and manageable. Austin rolls, needs 3 yards, and able on second effort to get his necessary yardage to move the sticks.
Well, if we get a replay on this, you'll see what I was telling you about the defensive end, outside linebacker. He's sticking his head inside. Watch him up top. He's going to stick his head. I wish I could pause it, but I can't. Watch right here. He's going to stick his head inside, and that's when he bounces back out. And that's what you can't do. You got to have that discipline to where you stay outside and force him in there till you help.
Isaiah Hooton able to finish off the play with the tackle for Westbrook Christian.
As we say, he's sticking his hand in the cookie jar.
There's Howard, breaks off a tackle. He's on his way to the end zone. And is he in? Yes, he is. Touchdown, Piedmont. 21 yards for Jackson Howard. We'll take another look courtesy of Morrow Tire and Auto. As there's Howard, breaks off of that initial attempt at the tackle by Jackson Maratz.
It's a great tackle. I mean, great contact. He just didn't form up.
And then the last bounce off of Carter Cothran, the cornerback. Howard, his first rushing touchdown, exactly what Jonathan Miller wants to see coming out of the halftime locker room. 2-point conversion try. Austin will keep it himself as he'll go to the end zone, and he's slung in for the 2-point conversion. So Piedmont successful on all their 2-point conversion tries as they're now up 32-14 with 9:07 to go third quarter here on the FNN Game of the Week.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Howard with some quality carries on that opening drive, including his 21-yard touchdown run, 2-point conversion run by Cole Austin, able to increase the Piedmont advantage to 18 as we have 9:07 to go in the third quarter. Our FNN High School Football Game of the Week from the Field of Champions here in Piedmont. One of the flagship programs in our part of the Yellowhammer State. As Cleveland with the end-over-end kick. David's record service with the kickoff. As Westbrook Christian trying to get some yardage around our far side as Cordell Martin able to get the football across the 40 to the 42-yard line, we'll call it. We'll have a flag on the play, though, so we'll see if this kickoff return will be coming back. A tough drive defensively for Westbrook Christian, as you mentioned during the break, Eddie. They had a couple opportunities to get off the field and failed to do so.
Absolutely. They had a great opportunity to get off the field. It was third and long, and, you had a busted coverage, and that's what happens sometimes. It only takes one play or one mistake to really just be a turning point, especially when you make that mistake and it turn into points.
Well, also keep in mind a couple of special teams blunders was able to get Piedmont up by 2 scores going into halftime, and looks as if the penalty will go on the Piedmont Bulldogs, a personal foul penalty, so that'll move the football right at midfield. So Westbrook Christian, they could use a score here as this is their opening drive of the second half.
Absolutely. They have to respond right here.
Oh, there's a mix-up in the backfield. As able to finish off the play is Kirkpatrick on the stop.
That's a tough play right there. The timing has to be excellent. You fake the jet and you get his own read, but what Piedmont is doing is cross-reading on that. Once the jet go away, they're getting the eyes on the back, and they They just coming in and hitting the back, and that's just kind of tough right there.
Brody Wood on the carry as that loses 4 yards back to the Westbrook Christian 46. Second and long. Kilgo with just 1 reception tonight as Blevins keeps it off the left side, turns it upfield, and goes forward across midfield to about the 47-yard line. Looks as if Alejandre Wright on the stop as Morrow tied an auto with our second look. It's a good solid play on second and long as you see Wood with a good block to help Blevins get across midfield. This check that Leo Wright from his nose guard spot on the stop.
That was a great block right there. He squatted and took the first guy, and Piedmont just had great ball pursuit on that. Could have went for a few more yards had, they had a couple of interior blocks right there.
3rd down and 7. Piedmont shows blitz, and we got a flag on the play. Flag thrown by our referee, Thomas Pratt. So Thomas Pratt gives us the false start indication. So make it now 3rd and 12 as the football goes back to the Warriors' 48-yard line. They've already converted on 3rd and long a couple of times with big plays, and they could use another big play here.
Right.
So Blevins with a rushing touchdown tonight. Also Brody Wood with a 19-yard touchdown.
When they had more success letting them sit in the pocket, I wouldn't roll the pocket. Blevins has had better success just sitting back in the pocket and letting them set up that umbrella around him and letting him throw because Piedmont is coming.
Play clock down to 6. Blevins steps up under pressure, and now he wants to scramble and run as he spins, and he will have his iCare Alabama first down. That final spin and bounced off the tackle, sprung him forward to keep the drive alive.
Absolutely. 3rd and long, James. You look for draws and you look for screens, and that's a quarterback draw right there.
The scramble effort by Blevins able to keep his offense on the field as he needed the 40 and just with the nose of the football able to get his team the iCare Alabama first down. So Blevins gets the play off the sideline as Westbrook Christian comes out of the huddle with 9 on the play clock. Man comes in motion in Wood. Here's the give up the middle. Looks like Maximus Jones on the carry. Gets close to the 35-yard line, whereas forward progress is stopped at the 36. So a gain of 4 yards.
They was a little slow getting that play off right there, with Blevins running it. He didn't get back to the huddle until about 11 seconds, so that's kind of tough right there.
Bryant Waters helps out on the tackle from his defensive tackle spot. Once again, Blevins retrieves the play from Coach Steve Smith, and the Westbrook coaches off the sideline. 2nd down. Wood the lone setback. A little high snap, but the keeper for Blevins as he'll round the corner. And once again bounces off of a linebacker that time as Carson Sanders tried to make the stop, but Blevins again gets off that initial blow and springs forward for another first down.
Blevins is pretty hard-nosed, man. I like him. He's a football player, man. He tough quarterback, man. He likes to run it, but he has a pretty good arm, too.
There you see Piedmont, Roanoke, and Atala pretty much all across our FNN coverage area is iCare Alabama. Also another longtime sponsor of ours, presenting our first downs tonight. Westbrook Christian 1st and 10. Blevins fakes. Under pressure, gets away from the pressure, and now tosses to his dump down receiver, complete to Jones, as he'll fight for a couple of yards inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Well, that right tackle on that bootleg play, he has to get a push, get outside, and seal that corner for him. He's not sealing that corner, and it's forcing Blevins to have to run for his life. He threw that one with the defensive end hanging on to his shirt.
Well, there's also a flag across the way. It doesn't look as if Jonathan Miller too happy about the flag. Let's see if it goes on Piedmont or Westbrook Christian, though. I'll tell you what, we mentioned at the top of the telecast when Shasta and I saw Jonathan Miller today about 90 minutes before kickoff. He had the game face on, and certainly just reading his mind, he was locked in and focused on the task at hand tonight.
Well, you have to, man. I guarantee you at the end of this game, mentally, he will be exhausted. I mean, because the average fan or the average person don't understand how much goes into preparing during the week. And then the intensity from this morning, of course, probably had prayer breakfast and going through the day, and you got to think about, did I forget anything? Did I leave out anything? And then coming up to the game, you got to eat, get in here, and make sure you stay on routines. I tell my team, no distractions. Hey, I want to go right through it like we normally do.
So here comes Thomas Pratt as the official indication given across the way. There's a personal
foul on the offense. The penalty is 15 yards on the run. The down counts at a second.
That's a bummer for Westbrook Christian, as after the play, that'll push them back 15 yards and move the football across the 40 to the Piedmont 43-yard line.
Yeah, I missed that. I think the days coming down the road where they give the coach the number, but in high school the officials don't call out the numbers, which I think in high school they eventually need to get to letting them know what the number is. It's not an embarrassment or nothing. It's just trying to keep the fans informed.
Yeah, transparency.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't have any problem with it as a coach.
Second down. Blevins loads up under pressure, and he loses the football as still the football loose as Piedmont comes up with it. The recovery by Leo Wright, who's had an outstanding game up front, as he comes up with the fumble recovery. Morrow Tire and Auto, as we'll see Brody Blevins lit up by the Piedmont defense.
Well, you got a two-handed monster there. You always see that he got it right there. He takes his hand off right there, and that's what happened. You got to keep both hands on that football.
Yeah, carried that football like a loaf of bread, as forcing the fumble was Bryant Waters, and then Leo Wright with the fumble recovery. We're seeing some outstanding complimentary football from Piedmont so far in the second half, as they were able to grind their way to their first score of this third quarter, and their defense comes up with a big turnover. And let's check out. Looks like a flag on the play. I imagine we'll hear from Thomas Pratt shortly. Another dead ball foul. And
unsportsmanlike penalty on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
So that's a post-play penalty. A unsportsmanlike conduct, so things getting a little chippy here in the third quarter. However, just under 5.5 minutes to go in the third, as Piedmont just about looking to put this game away.
Absolutely. If they score here, it's going to be a uphill battle for Westbrook right here. Westbrook has to try to get something going, right here to get that football back.
Cole Austin trying to lead his team to the 40-point mark. He'll go off the left side, accelerates. There's a flag on the play as Austin out of bounds into Westbrook Christian territory at the 32-yard line, but it looks as if this play might come back.
Yeah, I think you got a hole right there. I saw a double team right there.
There you see a good initial block up front by the fullback that time, in Ethan Bidwell. But I think it was the left tackle that was called for the hold.
Right, I think he did a WWE move right there. He kind of grabbed him around the neck.
We got to get at least one of those per ball game, Eddie. One of our players show a little professional wrestling move out there.
Well, that works in the Westbrook favor, though, right there, because you got the clock stopped and you got a 15-yard penalty and backed them up. So, hey, it worked in your favor.
We're approaching 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Don't forget, we'll be handing out some more hardware on Tuesday for our FNN Coaches Show. Talladega Short Track presents our Player of the Week each and every week this season. We're able to hand out the first, if I imagine, many awards to Maddox Mims on Tuesday. Here's Austin as he's wrapped up for probably no gain, as that'll set up a second down at the Piedmont 41-yard line. But we heard from Jonathan Miller at halftime as far as wanting his team to establish more physicality up front offensively. And so far, I think he should be pretty pleased with how his team has been able to respond here in this third quarter.
Right. He's kept it between the tackles pretty much, except for one long pass. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep that clock moving. If you have to punt the football, you got an 18-yard cushion. You want to punt the football.
Here's Austin, loads up, has a receiver behind the D, but a bit short to Eli Johnson.
Excuse me, I think the safety pulled off on that, though, once he saw the ball release. He saw him looking at Pinto, and, they knew he was going to Pinto, and he kind of made a mid-game decision right now. A mid-play decision where he was looking at Pinto and then decided he wanted to go deep.
Now, it looks as if we also have a flag on the play, another holding
that
call.
penalty's declined. Third down.
A holding call, and as you heard Thomas Pratt describe, that is declined, and we'll hear more later on in the second half from Shasta Jones about more about Raleigh Pinto. Also hear as far as what Bo Kilgo provided us as far as Shasta's visit with Bo earlier this week.
And now you definitely don't want to let him get behind you. They go
down the field, receiver behind the defense, and that's knocked away. And you had Pinto and I think Johnson in the area of the ball. And actually check that number 23 in Mason Morrow. If just one of those players, Eddie, was going up for the ball, that's at least a Piedmont first down.
Right. I'm a defensive coordinator, and I specialize in defensive backs. I would be livid if I saw Riley Pinto run behind my safety on third and long such as that, man. I don't care if you back up to the 10-yard line and come forward. You do not let a receiver get behind you on that play, and he was inches away from a reception.
Raleigh Pinto to punt. Line drive punt to Kilgo as he'll make the fair catch at the 25-yard line. And in fact, speaking of Bo Kilgo, our Shasta Jones able to catch up with the senior big play wide receiver, as we'll hear more from Shasta right now as far as the leadership role and more about the senior wide receiver.
Bo has been working on his leadership role, trying to help in the huddle and keep everybody confident, always encouraging them. He's been working on sprints with Coach Phillips, along with speed, agility, trying to get quicker, side to side, and faster straight line. Bo's main goal on the field is that he wants everyone, including the younger players, to remember that he is playing for an audience of one, that Jesus saves and is the only answer. After graduation, Bo wants to go to Jack State and become a manager for the football team.
Here's the dump down with a flag behind the play as the completion goes to Maximus Jones across the 30. But I think this play might be coming back as well. Just over 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Is Piedmont able to get a 21-yard touchdown run from Jackson Howard to begin this third quarter. And holding penalty will go on the Warriors. So take away about a 7-yard pass completion to Maximus Jones. So mistakes really have helped kill Westbrook Christian so far tonight, especially on special teams.
Right, it's just, and I think they probably edging Piedmont on the penalties, just killing them, man. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Here's Blevins. He goes downfield. And pretty throw and catch that time by Brody Johnson for a first down. That might have been the best throw of the night from Brody Blevins.
Hey, I seen two of them like that. That was beautiful, man. I mean, touch, that was a great route by the receiver right there. He just eyed it in. Oh, man, you can't beat that. 2 feet in.
He was able to beat the cornerback for Piedmont in number 4, Ivan Jones.
Hey, that's good. That catch right there is good on Sunday.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. Our third quarter brought to you by Countertop Creations, granite marble engineered stone. As there's the keeper for Blevins, as he'll lose about a couple of yards due to outstanding penetration from the front line for Piedmont. There you see Kirkpatrick. Also, Leo Wright has had an active night so far up front.
Coach Smith is a veteran at doing this, but, hey, I would venture to say I probably would air this thing out. You got 3 minutes left in the third quarter and the whole fourth quarter because that helps lengthen the game. You know, incomplete pass, clock stops, and, you know, you don't want that clock running. You know, you want it to stop without using timeouts. And you want to get out of bounds, or you want incomplete passes, or you want first downs. And, yeah, just a strategy of mine, I would use being down 18 points, yeah.
And we'll have a whistle and a flag on the play. And looks as if that a free 5 yards coming up for Westbrook Christian.
I think you got offsides right there, encroachment.
There's
snap, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Thomas Pratt, who hasn't quite been as busy announcing the penalties to the folks wherever our FNN cameras have been. And had through a lot of flags, especially at the Lincoln-Munford game, and last week had a bunch of penalties as well for Alexandria and Anniston. Here's Blevins. Rush comes, has to step up, and now tosses over the middle. Good look, and the completion to Kilgo as he'll reverse field and go down the sideline. Kilgo spun around and taken down inside the 20 at about the 17-yard line for an Icare Alabama first down.
Absolutely. That's a good job right there. He just kind of shot put at that ball to him. He found the open spot in the middle, and that's what you want to do right there. You want to get first down, stop the clock, get out of bounds, stop the clock. Incomplete pass and stop the clock. But right now they need to score.
Xanthan Wood on the stop.
You know, you need to try to get your touchdown before the third quarter is over with.
2:16 and counting to go in the third quarter. Blevins gives Wood as he gets stood up right about at the line of scrimmage. See who comes out of the pile up front that time. Good penetration as you have at number 34, Bryant Waters, and also Kirkpatrick, the linebacker, on the stop.
James, I tell you, it's some hard hitting down there in this game, too.
And normally, at least hard hitting, not always what you would, at least as far as the reputation for a Jonathan Miller football team.
That's
but
right.
I tell you what, as you mentioned, they're hitting hard so far tonight.
Hey, and they're playing fast. It's one of his faster teams as far as the way they, move in each play.
Timeout on the field, and we'll take the timeout with them. 1:33 to go, third quarter. It's Piedmont on top by 18. A second down and 10 as Westbrook Christian inside the Piedmont red zone. It's been a lengthy drive for the Warriors as they're down 18, however, on the road. Both teams undefeated at 3-0. Piedmont has not trailed so far tonight. Here's Blevins, has room off the left side, as he'll squeeze between a couple tacklers and gets taken down at about the 11-yard line. Looks as if Blevins a little bit slow to get up, but well, there's a reason why. He comes up a little bit gimpy toward the sideline. He's gotten hit a couple of times, actually more than a couple of times so far tonight. There's Piedmont laying the wood so far, and as we talked about prior to going to the break, not always the reputation that you would think as far as a Jonathan Miller type of football team that's usually very skilled, has a lot of speed, but they've had the physicality advantage so far tonight.
Absolutely. Now, if I'm on Westbrook, I'll run the same play again. Hey, I'm going at him.
Skaggs right up the middle as he'll go into the end zone for the touchdown.
And, James, that's what you need. You want to score. That's just inside zone right there. You want to score before this quarter is over with.
Easton Skaggs on the 11-yard touchdown run on 3rd down and 3. As that draws Westbrook Christian to within 12 points.
And I like what he's doing. He's not chasing points right here. He's going to kick the PAT.
There's the Morrow Tire and Auto second look at Skaggs' first touchdown of the night. Barber on for the point after. A little high snap. No worries on the hold as the kick is up, and it is good. 32-21, Piedmont on top. As just about 45 seconds to go, third quarter here on the FNN Game of the Week.
Wise Environmental Solutions Incorporated is a leader in the enhanced waste collection, septic system, resource recovery services industry in Alabama. With over 40 years of experience, we are committed to delivering superior customer service, innovative solutions, and protecting human and natural resources. Equipped to handle any situation, from regular residential services to emergency response situation. Some of the services that Wise Environmental Solutions offer is portable restrooms for events, restroom trailers, shower trailers, septic services, dumpsters and roll-offs, and industrial pumping. We are located at 2345 AL Highway 21 in Oxford, Alabama. Contact us today to take care of your event.
Reed Barber kicks it away as it goes in and out of the end zone on the Davis Wrecker Service kickoff. A touchback as that sets up Piedmont at the 20-yard line. First down and 10, 46.8 seconds to go, or 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter. That was a much-needed scoring drive for Westbrook Christian as Easton Skaggs rumbled in from 11 yards out on 3rd down and 3. Extra point able to cut the deficit for the Warriors down to 11. And now, speaking complimentary football, this is where Steve Smith wants his team to play some complimentary football and try and get Piedmont off the field 3 and out. Here's Pinto on the carry off the left side as he's able to get some solid yardage across the 20, actually across the 25 also to about the 26-yard line.
Well, you can't let Pinto turn the corner, and I think that's what they're doing. You got to box him in because he stands out so much different from the rest of the players. You can tell his athletic ability, but he can turn on the afterburners whenever he wants to.
2nd and 5. Here's the give. Mixon has his iCare Alabama first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. So that stops the clock momentarily to allow the chain gang to progress up the field. Good solid blocking off the right side of the offensive line for the Bulldogs. Frederick Taylor and Caden Doyle lead the way. We haven't seen Cole Austin throw but about a couple of times so far in this third quarter, with the running game proving to be successful, as that should close out the third quarter as the clock winds down in the final 5 seconds or so, and one more quarter to go, 12 more minutes to go, as Piedmont trying to stay undefeated as they lead 32-21.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Final 12 minutes coming up here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week, as Piedmont has never trailed so far this evening, and they're looking to get the upper hand in Class 3A Region 6. Both teams at 3-0 overall. Westbrook Christian at 3-0 in region play. Well, for Piedmont, they're 2-0, looking for their third region win of the season. D&G Roofing brings you our fourth quarter. Piedmont on offense as they have a 2-possession lead. Austin in the shotgun as there you see Mixon in the backfield. As Austin on the keeper as gets some good blocking off the right side and advances the football across the 40. And I think he should have that iCare Alabama first down.
Well, Westbrook got to step up right here and try to get off the field on third down.
Well, so far they really haven't been able to get the push that they've needed up front on first and second down so far in this second half. Austin, a sophomore, as he succeeds Cole Wilson at quarterback.
He's doing a great job.
Here's Austin on the quarterback keeper as he escapes a couple tacklers, but here comes a late flag on the play thrown right in front of the Westbrook Christian bench. So we'll have a stoppage in play here as we'll see who the penalty goes on as Thomas Pratt comes out to tell the folks here at the Field of Champions. As the penalty is going to go on Westbrook Christian. Not sure if it was may have been just a sideline warning actually. So that's the first of the night for either team. Raleigh Pinto, a big night so far for Piedmont as he scored an acrobatic touchdown catch in the second quarter on 3rd and long from 20 yards out, and then an 81-yard touchdown run that was able to help Piedmont get a 2-score lead going into halftime. 2nd and 4. Austin buries his head, and he'll be about a couple of yards shy of the first down. And in fact, let's hear more about Raleigh Pinto as Shasta Jones had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week.
Raleigh said his sights are set on winning the state championship this year. He has improved in catching the ball, route running, and being faster on the field, and is striving toward having at least 5 catches a game and no drops. He wants to be the best leader and best Christian man that he can be, and for the younger players to learn to never give up when things get hard and be a good competitor and a winner. I also asked Raleigh about the importance of his family in shaping his football career. He said he thinks it's the most important thing, having a good support system when you're trying to do the things you do every day, and having family by his side supporting him has definitely helped him tremendously.
There's Austin on the quarterback keeper. Thank you, Shasta, as Austin able to secure the ball and secure also an iCare Alabama first down. Just some tough yards, but more than enough to get the job done to keep Piedmont's offense on the field. Already 2 minutes and change played in this fourth quarter. And tell you what, Eddie, if Piedmont, let's say, scores on this drive and wins by about this margin to about 18 points, I think Jonathan Miller will be very happy with not just the win, but how his team has played so far in this second half.
Absolutely. They have responded. I mean, playing through controversy.
There's the keeper and minimal yardage. Good recognition defensively from Westbrook Christian as the tackle made by Titus Jones, the outside linebacker.
That's the influence run right there. They pull the guard and the tackle back to the backside. The quarterback keeps it and go back from where they pulled. You normally don't see that Those are normally high-level plays. You know, you see that in college, and you know you see it on Sundays, but you very seldom see them influence in high school.
D&G Roofing Contractors brings us our fourth quarter. 2nd down and 8. Austin keeps it, and another maybe a couple of yards across the Westbrook Christian 40 to the 38-yard line. Also the Grub Mart. I'm sure they'll be distributing a bunch of 99-cent bags of ice, especially to the Westbrook Christian players that have been hit hard so far by the Piedmont defense, who's provided a bunch of licks so far this tonight. But a lot of physical play down on the field, as always, each and every Friday night. Also home the Grub Mart is of those Oleo donuts all across our FNN coverage area. Under 8 minutes to go in the football game. 3rd down and 4. Austin rolls. Stops. Flag on the play. Austin under pressure goes down at the 46-yard line. A coverage sack as Titus Jones helps out. Also Jake Haney helps out on the pressure. There's a hold on Piedmont. That is, of course, declined. So Haney and Jones combine on the sack, and looks like a final from Golden Eagle Stadium, and a shocker as Jacksonville throttles leads 30-7. That may be one of the biggest surprises in the state so far this year in Class 5A, Eddie.
Absolutely, man. I mean, as we said, who would have thunk it?
4th down coming up as Raleigh Pinto back to punt. Gets it off. That's a good, solid punt by Pinto. As it lands inside the 15-yard line and goes inside the 10, that more than gets the job done for Pinto. So far, complimentary football by Piedmont as they are winning the field position battle for the most part here in the second half. So 1st down and 10 now at the 9-yard line with just 7:24 to go in the football game. As Westbrook Christian, they need to get this ball moved down the field and try and get the football in the end zone. Now they are down 11, so they could conceivably get a field goal and still get to within one possession.
Yeah.
Now they'd have some tall odds to try and score a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion if they got down 8 if they needed it late in the ball game.
Right, it's a tall order, but it's not impossible.
Here's the fake as Blevins, a quick throw to Johnson at the hour near side, complete as he's wrapped up and spun around for very little yardage. That's good containment on the part of the Piedmont defense as you had a couple of gray shirts around the football. As the defensive end and the outside linebacker, Tolbert, the linebacker, and Waters, the defensive end, help out on the stop.
When you want the clock stopped right there as well, too. So, you know, defense got in his face a little bit quick on that, man, and he had to struggle to get it out, you know.
Looks like a timeout on the field, and we'll take the timeout with him. 7:14 to go here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is the home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it for free refills throughout the year. And save every day with your Grub Mart Super Saver card. When you're on the go, it's good to know Grub Mart has everything you need. Gas, diesel, and delicious Oleo donuts. In business over 78 years, visit your local Grub Mart today.
Looking to transform your outdoor space?
Brings us to the Field of Champions here at Piedmont High School up in northeast Calhoun County. James Hardy, Coach Eddie Bullock, Jackson New, Shasta Jones, and our FNN crew. As we take a look at our broadcast location here at the Field of Champions. So we're actually located on the visiting side tonight of the Field of Champions. That was, back in the day, the home sideline. So we're normally would be on the west side, on the east side of the Field of Champions tonight. We'll be in Odenville next week at St. Clair County High School. Non-region play for St. Clair County and Shelby County. 6:30, our countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Bama Sheds. As Blevins tosses near side, that's complete. Good touch on the ball as the dump down pass on looked like an out route complete to Wood out of the backfield.
It was great touch, man. He just waited and just lobbed it over the top of the defender. And again, you got the clock stopped.
Brody Wood, his third reception of the season. So that gains 7 yards, sets up 3rd down and short. So you see the nose of the football inside the 20, about 17. Still a long way to go for Westbrook Christian to try and cut this deficit down to 1 score. Blevins looks for room, needs the 19, tries to fight his way to the 19, and I think on forward progress he will get to the 20, and that's enough for the iCare Alabama first down. So we're at about the 7-minute mark to go in the football game. And there is a flag on the field right around the line of scrimmage, Eddie.
Absolutely. I think you get, well, I know you got unsportsmanlike. It's just on who?
So if it's unsportsmanlike, likely after the play, but we'll find out officially from Thomas Pratt.
We already had a first down.
What happened?
There's a dead ball, unsportsmanlike.
On the defense. 15 yards from the end of the play, result of the play, and the penalty is.
Now that unsportsmanlike conduct helps out Westbrook Christian get a bit closer and also saves a little bit of time on the clock. So they'll move the football to about the 35-yard line. So an 11-point cushion right now for Piedmont as they have never trailed. These two teams were tied up at 8 after 1. And then a 24-14 halftime lead in favor of Piedmont. Both teams basically traded scores in the third quarter. There's Blevins. Rolls out under pressure and goes down. Nicely done that time by the outside linebacker, Benjamin Tolbert, the sophomore.
Blevins has to take care of that football, though. He still got that one hand, and, that cost him. It didn't cost him points. It cost him a possession.
Well, that you remember correctly that he had the ball slapped out of his hands by Bryant Waters, and then Leo Wright later came up with that fumble recovery. Time is precious, though, as we've played almost half of this fourth quarter. Piedmont doesn't mind that clock ticking away.
Right, I just think here you got to air it out. You got to keep dinking and donking, getting it out of bounds, and
Pressure comes as the throw and complete, and that's going to lose yards to the 25-yard line.
It may be a penalty, though, because the offensive lineman called it. That's a penalty.
That may be the only time that you'll have the lineman catch the football that time. I think it might have been Jonah Valentine that was or number 63, James Larkin, that came up with the catch. So that's obviously, as Eddie pointed out, an ineligible receiver.
Right.
So let's see if Piedmont takes the penalty, or they could just decline it, let the play stand, and because that lost yards, have a third down and long.
It's no.
It's illegal touching.
No, it is illegal touching indeed. So let's see how they'll assess the penalty here, as it'll set up a long yardage situation either way.
Tell me this.
Well, if I'm in this case, I back them up.
Less than 6 minutes to go in the football game.
It just means longer and more time they got to use on the clock. So
still deliberating this penalty is referee Thomas Pratt. Don't forget, join us Tuesday night, top of the river, for our FNN Coaches Show. That'll take us about halfway through our Tuesday night schedule this season, as we'll take you right up as far as our Tuesday night FNN Coaches Show, all the way to the first round of at least our coverage right into that eve of the first round. As here you take a look at our week coming up. Our FNN Coaches Show on Tuesday, and then followed by a replay of tonight's ball game. And our Tuesday night Coaches Show leading into Shelby County and St. Clair County at 6:30. And, of course, kickoff at 7 o'clock in Odenville next Friday night. So we'll be making that trip, at least over on I-20 westward this week.
Offense, 5-yard penalty plus loss of down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. It's half the distance towards the goal. Result is a third down.
So the ineligible receiver, and then for good measure, throwing the unsportsmanlike conduct. So not exactly, I imagine, what Steve Smith wanted to see that time as his team trying to cut into an 11-point deficit. 5:51 to go in the football game as Raleigh Pinto had a couple of key touchdowns in that second quarter. And also Jackson Howard with so far Piedmont's lone touchdown after halftime.
Well, Westbrook gave themselves a chance by, making Piedmont punt the football. But, as we mentioned earlier, you just can't shoot yourself in the foot, and that's what they've done. I mean, this series it's been a total disaster.
3rd and a country mile to go. Here's Blevins in the end zone, under pressure, and throws it for all it's worth. A lateral in the end zone. Looks like a live ball, and it's a touchdown for Piedmont. Ball in desperation thrown behind Blevins in the end zone. So that's a defensive touchdown for Piedmont. We'll take a Morrow Tire and Auto second look as you see Thomas Pratt indicate that is a live football. And Chase Kirkpatrick just calmly picks up the football in the back of the end zone. So Kirkpatrick able to get in the scoring column. So Piedmont an offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and a special teams touchdown tonight. So they've had a complete night as far as all areas contributing.
And that's what's tough about backing a quarterback up in the end zone trying to
look at that maneuvering from Pinto as he's able to fight off the cornerback for Westbrook Christian for the 2-point conversion. Carter Cothran just no match for Raleigh Pinto. And we'll take a look at this back shoulder fade pass.
Well, he just threw it up there. Pinto got him in there, man. Just no match right there. I mean,
Westbrook Christian trails 40-21 here on the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.
Raleigh Pinto is a smart individual, too. He gave the too little sign by putting his hand down, but then he turned around and handed the referee the ball. So it was like, I know I made a mistake, but I apologize.
Westbrook Christian coming out to receive the kickoff as there's just 5:14 to go in the football game. But I'll tell you what, Piedmont, they've played, for the most part, they've had their moments to where they've made some mistakes. But I'll tell you what, you look at going up against an improving program in Westbrook Christian, Eddie, and Piedmont has been more than capable to the task tonight.
Absolutely. I think Westbrook has played well. They just fell apart in spurts, but Piedmont is pretty much has separated themselves and asserted their dominance over Westbrook. And showed that they hey, we're a little bit better than y'all.
The David's Record Service kickoff, a near disaster for Westbrook Christian, is fumbling the kickoff as Cordell Martin as he was able to fall on it. And so a 1st down and 10 for Westbrook Christian. And so let's take a look at the road ahead for both of these teams following tonight's ball game. And first for Westbrook Christian, they'll return home to take on Munford next Friday. Very good as you see the full schedule coming up down the back half of the season. At Ohatchee to begin October, and then at Triton in non-region play for Westbrook Christian on the 10th. J.B. Pennington on the 17th, at Weaver on the 24th, and then Halloween at home against Walter Wellborn. 1st down and 10 Wood on the carry as he spins away from a defender and gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. An I-Care Alabama first down.
That's a great run right there.
And then Piedmont, there you see they'll be on the road in Silicaca at B.B. Comer next Friday. And they'll have 3 consecutive road games coming up, also at Locust Fork and at J.B. Pennington, at Weaver on the 17th, and then at Walter Welborn on the 24th, and at home against a much-improved Glencoe squad on Halloween. And again, a final look as far as that Westbrook Christian schedule as we have a timeout on the field, and we'll take the timeout with them here on FNN.
At Farmers and Merchants Bank, we're showing off our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now, these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So, show off your colors and support your local school with the FNM Spirit debit card. You can learn more at fnm.bank. Member FDIC.
To make the big plays throughout the ball game when they've needed it. And they've been able to extend their lead here in the fourth quarter up to 19 points, up 40-21. James Hardy with you. Also, Coach Eddie Bullock and Shasta Jones, Jackson New, and the rest of our FNN crew. Something we really haven't mentioned as far as the strategy tonight, Eddie, as far as the point after touchdowns for Piedmont. Don't really have a true place kicker this year as they've had to go for 2 for all of their point-after tries, and so far tonight they've made all 5 of their 2-point conversion tries, and that's helped them be able to build their lead throughout this ball game.
Well, it has, but I think down the road that's going to be an Achilles heel for them because the deeper you get in the playoffs, you can't you got to have somebody can kick that football. It don't work the deeper you go in the playoffs.
Maximus Jones able to cross over the middle for the catch across midfield to the 47-yard line. And I-Care Alabama first down. Just not enough time for Westbrook Christian to mount a desperation comeback as we approach the 4.5-minute mark. First down and 10. 21 points on the board for Westbrook Christian, but 40 for Piedmont. As Blevins tosses on the run and gets his receiver across the 35 to about the 34-yard line. Maximus Jones again on the catch.
And he had 2 deep. They just ran the same area. You had 1 safety back. If they split, he possibly got a touchdown.
So Piedmont 4 minutes and change from improving to 4-0 on the season. And tell you what, a tall task still as far as just for Jonathan Miller following a legend in Steve Smith, but last season 13-1 in his second year, and so far undefeated, more undefeated coming into tonight, and they'll stay undefeated after this final 3 minutes and 48 seconds takes off. And you look at just a lot of pressure, Eddie, as far as what Jonathan Miller faces, as far as those expectations that have been built at Piedmont, but the last couple of years, Jonathan Miller has more than done an outstanding job as far as keeping that tradition of excellence alive here in Piedmont.
Well, he's done a fantastic job. I mean, and that's all you want to do. He's in his 3rd year. I mean, you want to make sure that you let him know what you're capable of doing, and then get your program in. And once you get your program in, hey, you keep it moving.
Parker Sims with the grab, his 5th catch of the season, first of the night, as he's able to get the football closer to the 30-yard line. Actually across the 30 to the 26-yard line. So it gets a gain of 8, 3rd down and short. Almost in mop-up duty, pretty much, as we're coming up on the final 3 minutes of play. We'll hear from Jonathan Miller and at least one of the Piedmont players following tonight's game. Also, here are final stats from Jackson New as Brody Wood trying to escape the defense as he'll get shoved out of bounds. And he'll get to about the 25-yard line. Needed the 24 for the first down, so he'll be about a yard shy of the first down. Non-region play across the state of Alabama next week. And about the time, Eddie, as far as this time of the year where tonight a big game for both of these teams and for the teams in playoff contention and trying to secure home spots, each week gets bigger and bigger as you get closer to the finish line in regular season play.
Yep.
Under 2.5 to go. A 4th down and 1 as Blevins off the right side has his first down and more as he tumbles forward inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line.
That's a great run. They gave him trips tight formation, run to the tight end side with a lead block right on the right side. You'll see the tight end right here. You'll see the tight end go up and make a block, and then you'll see the back come out and make another block, the seer, and that's all Blevins need right there. You got your kick, your 2 blocks right there, kick out, and now he's one-on-one with that safety.
Maximus Jones with a good block as Blevins able to power it in for the touchdown on 1st and goal. Blevins with his 2nd touchdown of the night. Under 2 minutes to go in the football game. Makes it 40-27. Let's check that. I beg your pardon. There you go. Good to see that Morrow Tire and Auto 2nd look, and getting his 2nd touchdown of this half is Easton Skaggs. So Skaggs, a solid night offensively. I imagine he'll be getting more carries down the stretch of the regular season for Coach Steve Smith's Westbrook Christian Warriors. 2-point conversion try. As Skaggs, or check that, Blevins keeps it, and we have a flag on the play as right now Blevins strolls in for 2, but we'll see if that stands. So hold everything here as we'll get a verdict from Mr. Thomas Pratt. D&G Roofing brings us our 4th quarter. Also, the Calhoun County Commission helps bring our FNN Game of the Week to you each and every week. And there you see D&G Roofing with over 25 years of excellence as storm draining specialists. 256-442-3426, their call. There's a block in the back that goes on Westbrook Christian. So they'll redo the PAT. So 1:58 to go in the football game as they'll wipe off the 2 points due to the penalty. So we'll have, let's see, another 2-point conversion try coming up as Easton Skaggs, solid night defensively, also a couple of touchdown runs here in the second half. A 6-yard and an 11-yard run. So we'll have the play come in off the sideline as Brody Blevins delivers the play for his teammates. Plenty of time on the play clock at 10. Here's Blevins. Loads up, and he goes over the middle, and that's knocked away. And might have gone in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, incomplete. So 2-point conversion, no good. So we'll take the timeout with 1:46 to go, and Piedmont up by 13.
Oh, that was a beautiful play.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Our school spirit with our newly designed vertical Spirit debit cards. Now these are customized with your favorite school's logo, and half of every Spirit card purchased goes toward your school. So show off your colors and support your local school with the FNN.
Onside kick coming up. As looks as if Piedmont able to come up with the football. around the 49-yard line as the starting quarterback in Cole Austin able to field the onside kick on the David's Record Service kickoff. 1:58 to go in the football game. Here you see the David's Record Service provides you 24-hour towing. Hopefully one of those that you have in your back pocket that you never need. But if you do ever need it in an emergency, David's Record Service is there for you. Here's Austin. I imagine he'll be handing it off or keeping it the rest of the ball game as he does here. Good blocking on the right side as you've had an excellent second half from Frederick Taylor and Caden Doyle on that right side of the offensive line as they are able to spring Austin for some solid yards to the 45 of Westbrook Christian. Clock stops at 1:35 to go in the football game. So they'll actually put some extra time on the clock at 1:40 to go as there is a timeout on the field. We'll talk with Coach Jonathan Miller and see if we can get a player or two from Piedmont following tonight's ball game. But don't forget, you can watch all of our games as well as our Tuesday night FNN Coaches Show on our FNN app. Just go to the Google Play or Apple App Store and put in the search bar FNN Network, and you should be able to get our FNN app as you can watch our Coaches Show, our Friday night games. As there you go, easy access to all our live streams, and in addition to live telecasts, on-demand videos, upcoming events, team schedules, and a whole lot more on the FNN Network app. Out of the timeout, a 2nd down and 5 coming up, as both teams with just a couple of timeouts at their disposal. Piedmont sees the finish line in sight. As Howard, a solid second half, as he's able to carry the football forward and indicates that is a iCare Alabama first down. Inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line, as the clock stopped momentarily to allow the chain gang to set up a fresh set of downs. A tough night for Westbrook Christian, as more than their fair share of mistakes has put them behind the 8 ball throughout. A couple of big-time special teams mistakes in the first half resulted in 2 of the 3 Piedmont touchdowns. And then Piedmont was able to basically keep it on the ground for almost the entire second half and keep Westbrook Christian at bay. Final minute to go. Howard up the middle to about the 35-yard line. Piedmont will start a 3-game road trip next Friday at B.B. Comer, a non-region game, what will be their final non-region game of the season. Of course, Piedmont and Westbrook Christian part of that 9-team Class 3A Region 6. So 8 of the 10 games in the regular season for both teams in region play. This is at the victory formation as Jonathan Miller has seen enough as he'll just allow Cole Austin to take a knee. And that should be the final snap of tonight's ball game. An outstanding second half all the way around, and really a solid ball game all the way around for Piedmont as they're able to take it home with a 40-27 win. We'll hear from Jonathan Miller here shortly. Let's see if we can take a timeout, and we'll be quickly back to hear from the Piedmont coaches and players following this time. Or we'll keep it here, as I think we're just about almost ready as both coaches out to midfield, and we'll get Coach Jonathan Miller following his shaking hands with Coach Steve Smith. Solid win for Piedmont, Eddie, as they never trailed tonight. Westbrook Christian made some key mistakes in the first half that got them behind and really in position to where they were never able to truly get back in the ball game.
Right, and Piedmont, just took advantage of it. You can't give a...
Let's send it down to the field for Shasta Jones with Coach Jonathan Miller.
Coach Miller, tell me about this win tonight and how it feels, how important this is for the Bulldogs.
Well, it's a big region win for us, no doubt. Playoff implications on this game. Good to get this one behind us, but, we got a lot to clean up. Made too many mistakes tonight, but, our guys, fought and found a way to end it at the end.
And tell me about your defense, the way they came through, even in the end zone, taking that ball with the touchdown right over there a minute ago.
Yeah, a lot of big plays by our defense tonight. You know, we didn't get off the field on third down throughout the course of the game, and that's why it got, pretty close. But, we made enough plays when we had to get the win.
Well, congratulations on this win, and good luck for the future games.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Shasta, and thank you, Coach Jonathan Miller. As you heard Coach Miller say, still plenty of work left to do as far as making sure that the Piedmont Bulldogs are able to achieve the goals that they want to. As your final score is 40-27 in favor of Piedmont. As we're trying to see if we can get Raleigh Pinto to our FNN microphones here following a big win for Piedmont to close out region play for the month of September. Still, most of their schedule remaining is in region play after next week, as it looks as if our Shasta Jones trying to track down one Raleigh Pinto. So looks as if the Piedmont Bulldogs getting ready to celebrate as far as the school alma mater. But I know you were saying, Eddie, as far as we'll go ahead and take the timeout, and we'll continue our post-game following this timeout here on FNN.
Wise Environmental Solutions Incorporated is a leader in the enhanced waste collection, septic system, resource recovery services industry in Alabama. With over 40 years of experience, we are committed to delivering superior customer service, innovative solutions, and protecting human and natural resources. Equipped to handle any situation, from regular residential services to emergency response situation. Some of the services that Wise Environmental Solutions offer is portable restrooms for events, restroom trailers, shower trailers, septic services, dumpsters and roll-offs, and industrial pumping. We are located at 2345 AL Highway 21 in Oxford, Alabama. Contact us today to take care of your events.
On the season, this will send it down to Shasta Jones with Raleigh Pinto.
Raleigh, tell me, tonight you had some amazing receptions and runs. For the receptions, earlier this week you told me you wanted to at least get 5 catches. How do you feel you did with that tonight?
I was locked in the whole week, and I'm just proud of this team. And our offense did good. We got a lot of good players on our offense, so it makes it easy for me to do what I do.
What was going through your mind with that 81-yard run that you had, and you saw it open up for you to make that?
Every time I get the ball, I want to score. So I knew I had to score, and I was just very happy that I did.
Well, congratulations on that win tonight, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
We're going to send it back to you, James.
Eddie, you just heard the mind of a big-time playmaker in Raleigh Pinto. Every time he gets the ball, he wants to score.
Well, hey, as I told you earlier, Raleigh Corvette, he turned on the afterburners and jetted down the sideline, and he's just a phenomenal player. He does a great job.
A final from the field champions is Piedmont able to take down Westbrook Christian 40-27 as Piedmont improves to 4-0 on the season. Westbrook Christian falls to 3-1. There you see all the folks that helped make our FNN Game of the Week possible. And so we'll be back with you on Friday in Odenville for Shelby County and St. Clair County, and also Tuesday for our FNN Coaches Show. So for Jackson News, Shasta Jones, Jim Jacobs, and Eddie Bullock, James Hardy wishing you a good Friday evening and a great weekend as you have been watching the FNN High School Football Game of the Week.